we're ready.
Yep, man, I'm definitely ready. Let's get it on.
Remember that heist that you made to get that Crystal Glencairn?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Come on, reconnect. Okay, we're live. All right. You got that VIP Crystal Glen?
You gotta say a word. You know I do.
Yeah.
I pulled this one down. It's always right beside it. I'll never get to use
it. I got my VIP one. I got it. Randy finally rewarded me with one.
Oh, did he?
Yes, I was like, I thought he got one early for a Crystal Glencairn of the. I thought he was one of the first to get it. But let's make sure. Let's put this one.
What did you do? Trade him crystal for crystal?
No, I gave him one, and then he said he was gonna, and then every single time after he said he was gonna, I begged for one, and I got one. All right, here we go. Let's see what we got for YouTube. I'll do the whole fun YouTube thing. We should be live. I should be over. Man, I'm down 10. 2 weeks and 10 pounds.
Awesome.
And putting on. I have not missed a workout. I just decided to do everything, Nash. Everything. Every kind of supplement, every kind of more drink, the only thing I'm not doing is GLP-1s. I won't do that. But everything else possible, it's happening. Let's see if we got sound. We got sound. All right. Let's hit. All right. Welcome, everybody on YouTube. Make sure you let us know where you're from and what you're sipping on. And then also, if you want your questions answered, leave a super chat. They're greatly appreciated. There you go. So we're started. Now, I'm going to put this over here so I can watch it. All right, that should not be in anything. Oh, I can move it over just a little. All right, there we go. It's moved over just a... Oh, wow. I paused it? Okay. All right, there we go. We got sound. We're live. We got Super Nash here. We've got the...
In the house.
I got everything going. I won't forget to start it because I'm going to start recording now. All right, everybody, real quick before El Presidente comes. Whiskey. Oh, you want to see what I did some cool things here, Nash. Watch this. All right, we're going to do Neely Family Distillery. Now, I believe I had them in download. I just found it in download. All right, here we go. System, users, Jeff, downloads. Boom, here we go. Watch, listen to this. Here we go.
11 generations of distilling history means there's a lot of story behind every bottle at Neely Family Distillery. From barrel-proof single barrels and bottled-in-bond releases to exceptional rye whiskeys, every bottle begins with tradition and craftsmanship. Curator and blending expert Rebecca Neely takes it even further, bringing together exceptional barrels to create distinctive blends and limited releases. There's Old Jet Brothers, Hidden Barn, and authentic Kentucky Moonshine, rooted in a family recipe passed down through generations. But whiskey isn't the only spirit making history here. Using their historic 1890s French still, Neely produces the world's only platinum-awarded absinthe from the San Francisco World Spirits Competition. Bourbon, rye, moonshine, award-winning absinthe. 11 Generations of Distilling. For more information, visit NeelyFamilyDistillery.com.
All right. Then I've got this one. Middle West Spirits was founded in 2008, focusing on elevating the distinct flavors of the Ohio River Valley. Their spirits honor their roots and reflect their originality as makers, their integrity as producers, and their passion for crafting spirits from grain to glass. Their Michelin Reserve line reflects their story from the start to the bottle to your glass, with unique wheated and rye bourbons and also rye and wheat whiskeys. The Michelin brand is easy to sip. It might be a grain to glass experience, but I like to think of it as uncut and unfiltered from their family to yours. And then Tiny here to tell you about Whiskey Thief Distilling Company and their newly opened tasting room. Whether you are up for a farm-to-glass distilling experience on the Three Boys Farm in Frankfort, Kentucky, or an out-of-this-world tasting experience in Newland, you won't be disappointed. At both locations, their barrel picks all day, every day, are like none other. Each location features stations with 5 barrels, each featuring their pot-distilled bourbons and ryes. Once the barrels have been thieved and tasted, you can make a selection and thieve your own bottle. A day at Whiskey Thief with their friendly staff and ownership will ensure you many good times with good friends and family. Remember to always drink responsibly, never drink and drive, and live your life uncut and unfiltered. How you like that? I mean, come on. That's pretty good, don't you think, Super Nash?
Absolutely.
Could you hear it?
Great job, man. Yep. Sounded great.
So there's our sponsors. And then we've got Alan Bishop. Don't forget him. If you have Ghosts, you have everything. That is a podcast on Spotify and Apple, iHeart. And he basically takes the best of both worlds, the spirits world and the spiritual world, and combines them for awesome stories and tales. So check out If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything. And then also, Alan Bishop is a fine distiller, and you need to check out his One Piece at a Time Distilling Institute on YouTube. If you are a home distiller or a commercial distiller and you've got questions, Alan Bishop has answers. So check out If You Have Ghosts, One Piece at a Time Distilling Institute on YouTube. And If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything. We have Greg Schneider on tonight. Great. And he says cheers to you, Super Nash. Greg does.
Cheers, Greg. Great to be here, brother.
The YouTube's looking good, but the Facebook's kind of a little wonky right there. All right, I got to make sure.
I'm getting it going. I'm just about done.
I got to make sure my internet is not using anything else, but we're ready. When El Presidente comes on, we're ready for him. He knows. I think this is his 13th time. Him and Greg are just trading blows for the podcast now that Greg's with 4 branches, and he wants to do the metal one too. So that should be pretty cool. Let's hope. I'll text. Let's see. I can't text El Presidente because that one. I believe he knows. Let's see if he knows the drill. Come in 15 minutes early, and we'll be ready for him. We're ready for him. I think. Do you like me doing the spots before, or do you like the pre-recorded spots?
Yeah, I like the pre-recorded spots. A little bit clearer, straightforward.
Oh yeah,
no
thanks. It's not, I don't mess up, and you know that.
Yeah, okay.
I know there's no Steve. Steve, where are you? was hoping he'd be on tonight. But this podcast is going to be about Kentucky Bourbon Festival, and with Super Nash sharing to everybody tonight. So far, I can text them from this one if I can pay attention. Let's see. Oh, Presidente. Let's see. Randy. There's El Presidente. All right. There we go. I'll send that one out. Why did I do that? All right, come back to YouTube. There. All right, I told him it was all clear.
It shut me down.
It shut you down? All right, I'm going to run up.
Yeah.
So now that you could pay attention to every...
After about 50 or 60.
Okay. You pay attention to everybody. I'm going to run up and get water.
All right.
I wonder if I... I know.
Cheers, Randy. What's happening, brother? Greg, great to see you all. Or see that you're on here checking us out.
You too.
So while he's away, I guess I'm going to do the track 4 of Weller's single barrel that I picked up today and just in Chatham, Virginia, MSRP, $68 and some change out the door.
All right.
What's everybody else? Let us know what you're sipping on and where you're from.
Everything
Hanging out tonight.
Everything's set.
I'll be from there.
Everything is set.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna just a little bit. Grab my water.
Yep. Let's see. Response. Randy's ready to come in as soon as he's ready to come in. I hope he doesn't need me to give him another
Link.
Yeah.
Another link to it.
Yeah. Not like Randy doesn't know how to jump on in a Zoom meeting.
Yeah. I think he's got it down pat now.
I can't see anyways tonight, so I'm just gonna, for whatever reason, there we go. Oh no, I can't do that. That's right. You know what? I learned is that these glasses mess up they're hooked up to my phone, right? So they mess up the ability for the audio to correctly work on the podcast of YouTube, because YouTube is being streamed right from, so all of a sudden it tries to stream in. All right, that was something. All right, these live sessions are killing me. I met the head of the North Carolina Bourbon Society.
Where'd you meet him at?
He came to my house. He was here because Luke Keatley, or linebacker for the Carolina Panthers, was enshrined into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and he knows him through bourbon, and he was asked to do his bourbon tequila party at his come up and talk about tequila, serve tequila, and run his Hall of Fame party at Gervasi. So I got a message from Shay, who said that why is that? That shouldn't be like that, should it? Yeah, well, whatever. It'll probably not be gray once someone comments. All right, a little bit worried that, because usually Randy knows to be on just a little bit early. Do you think we should call
Mm,
We'll
Maybe
call
take
him
a
maybe after 8:30.
That's what I was saying. Give him a few more minutes. See what's up.
And what's up? And what's up?
And he might be driving in from the office or something.
Yeah, he might be. Well, you were talking about what you got. I have this Buzzard's Roost from last year. I haven't done any. I hadn't had a pour yet. You had to open up your single barrel, huh? You
Yes,
don't
I
get
did.
You don't get too many of those, do you?
Oh, I've never had one because I wasn't paying $700 or $800 secondary.
Well, Buffalo Trace is doing a really good job, in my opinion, for this. So we'll see.
Man, that's good.
It is. It's the 13th. Oh, we got. It's like I always have this anxiety. Whenever I'm doing a podcast and the guest's not in yet, I get the anxiety. I'm back down now to a 2XL.
Are you?
Yep, I'm trying. There's a lot of work going into this. A lot of work.
I'm on the border between the two. Just depends on the shirt.
Roxy asked me if I can sustain this. I said, absolutely. It's only 45 minutes a day. It's been pretty cool.
Wonder why they don't, on this single barrel, they don't put the, like the barrel, the single barrel that it came from.
Because they just pour it out. Or just pour it out. It's not a...
Oh, come on. Don't give me that.
Maybe it's a single barrel batch.
Smooth it over.
Well, they don't.
It's Weller's weeded single barrel.
Yes, they don't put the
I want to know the barrel and how
They
many
don't know
bottles.
they don't put the barrel on single barrel Taylors. The only thing they put the barrel number on is the Blantons. It's just why do you need to know what barrel? It's just a barrel. Does it taste good?
Yeah.
So
Because inquiring minds want to know.
they
I just want to know. Hey, I want to know. I want to get to know my bourbon. Is that okay with you? I want to know its history, where it's been, where it thought it was going.
So there's Steve. He's jumped on. So we got Steve on now. He says, "Hi, Nash."
Hey, Steve, what's happening, brother? Been a while.
It's been a while, but you know, El Presidente brings this out of us. All right. I can call him. We're at 27. He's usually let's not push it. It's an 8:30 meeting.
You're really antsy, aren't you? You're excited about tonight, aren't you?
Yes, super excited. I am set for
this festival. We usually get a little teaser of something that's going on that nobody knows about yet. So I'm excited too.
I've been talking to Randy.
I was here for all you bourbon and whiskey lovers, and craft beer lovers too, because there's always one or two of those trailers out there.
Yeah, that's for sure.
On those hot summer nights.
I should be in
bourbon in the air.
I'm like on YouTube. I'm gone. I should be in the picture.
So have you signed up for any extracurricular activities?
I'm trying for bourbon to see how to get bourbon in the air on our tickets, but I've been sending it to everybody like I did last year, so I'm going to see if I can get it on there. Although CT doesn't want to because he 100% what would you say? He 100% loved doing everything while that was happening. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see.
Oh, like around the town?
Yeah, there were parties that CT went to last. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Here comes El Presidente.
Oh, yes. There he is. Here he comes. Oh. And there he is.
Presidente.
Woo!
Hey, brother.
Nash.
Just hanging out, man.
CT.
Look at there, CT coming in too.
Oh, CT joins us at the same time. Whoa, yeah, 8:30. You guys are a minute early on both parts. Awesome. You know what?
In the house.
That's how life is these days, right?
Hey, we got the same shirt on, Nash.
Well, I do believe we do.
Did I go put mine on real quick?
Yeah, man.
Should I run and get mine too? He wants. That's a whole.
Your green one's fine.
That's a whole microphone. Yeah, I could be the. This is the Christmas broadcast for the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, red and green. I could change the background lights to be red and green too, instead of blue and red.
Right.
I put blue on mine for Kentucky Blue.
Yeah, I got blue and red.
What do we got?
Can you hear me okay? Because I do not have my microphone tonight.
Oh yeah, we hear you fine. I mean, the microphone on the if it's a one person thing and you're kind of still close enough to it, the microphone for the Apple is fantastic. It's just if you're, far away. What just happened? He blurred out. Wow.
Oh,
My background here isn't as cool as it once was a month ago.
It's still cool. I like it.
I got my derby print and stuff. And
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, man,
I
that
but
is
then
cool.
I got my bourbon carpet and my little 42-inch TV that isn't actually working yet.
Not yet.
The 90-inch is still hanging on the wall.
Okay.
I couldn't move that by myself.
I know how that goes. But lately, my self stuff. I had a grill. I got a grill for Father's Day. I got to put that. I picked it up from Menards, and I got the guy to get me it into the help me get it in the truck, and then I got it out of the truck, coming up with some form of a sled to slide it down out of the back of the truck, and then I slid it in the garage. And then my other one's a big giant double smoker or whatever. And I had a guy from work come and he took it and then he's using it because the gas grill still worked on it. But I needed him to get it off. I had to give it to him to get it off the deck and around the house, because it's by yourself always sucks, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, my subwoofers and my big tower speakers, I left them in the box, and gravity did the work down those stairs. And then but getting them back up is a bear. I had a damn heart attack moving them.
And the same.
This camera does not like red. It keeps color balancing, and it makes me look like I'm having a stroke. So I'm gonna go put a different color shirt on.
You're like lighting up. I think it's the sunlight behind you. It's picking up, but you're lighting up like a red flashing light at the intersection.
Yeah, I'm gonna go put my green shirt on.
All right, then we balance. That balances us.
He's got that autofocus going on his.
Yeah, he does.
It's following, and that's why I can't use that. I can't use this phone on this because it drives me nuts.
You don't like that.
It's not fun.
Luca.
Hi guys.
Oh, puppy.
Yeah, hi guys. I'm being the boy today.
He is a good boy. That is a great
Yeah,
dog.
someday.
That
Someday.
is a great dog.
Yeah, it is.
That stuff all over your face, boy.
So what's been going on, boys?
What's that?
I said, what's been going on?
Oh,
Lots of work for me, but it's been great.
All right.
it's like getting wound up time for the festival, and man, it's like just hard to believe it's already here.
27 days.
Oh
Crazy.
yeah, it's crazy how fast it's coming up. Stacy offered up her ticket. I see. You can have my ticket.
For what?
I don't know. She just had it. She was doing it.
I was wondering if she was talking about bourbon in the air.
Oh, when we were talking about bourbon in the air? Okay. Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of.
Okay. All right. Are we ready to just get going?
Yeah, might as well go ahead and start.
All right. So I'll hit the start recording, and then we'll hear the theme song like always, and then it's then we get it on.
Right.
right, welcome back to another podcast of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. And tonight is a very special podcast. We have El Presidente, Randy Prasse, in the house, president of Kentucky Bourbon Festival. This is going to be a fun one. I am pumped for this one. Pumped up, pumped. And then we also have CT. CT.
I'm not. I applaud your enthusiasm.
You don't have as much as I do. And then we have
No.
Super Nash.
No one has as much as you.
Super Nash. Woo!
The house, yeah, finally. I
Yeah.
know, it's been a few weeks, I know.
Oh, it's
I've been on hiatus.
well,
working.
it's really kind of cool with Randy coming on, El Presidente, and then all three of us together. I think Roxy wanted to be on tonight, but she couldn't because she's just getting over what I had was like a sniffly nose and kind of thing last week, and I got through it. But she got the cough part of it, and they're calling it the parent flu because there's so many people with it, but the kids it kind of spread through the kids and then kids, and we picked it up from our granddaughter, so that was a lot of fun. But she wasn't able to get on because of that, because she's got like a laryngitis. It finally let up. I mean, the last couple nights for her have been hell, but last night was okay. So finally, we're getting on the other
My
side of it.
son, that's exactly what he caught when we did this nursery last week, or the first part of last week, and he's got the same exact symptoms
Yeah,
as the cough and the sniffling and stuff.
and
But he's like, no, it was that chemical plant. I was like, no.
well, it helps. It does that irritates it. She missed a couple births because of it and everything, and then she had done some and whatever, and it was moldy in one place and whatever. So I never got the cough, so I was glad about that. But besides that, here we are.
Yep.
We are ready. This is it. I'm excited for this sold out freaking festival. I think this year the coolest part is that last year you sold out within like the first week, right? That's what it was, the first 3. But the total was this time you sold out like a rock concert, and that was
28 hours. 4
And-
hours of the open to the public sale, and the other we sold everything else in pre-sale to the Bourbon Insiders, and VIP sold out again in like minutes, and even the President's Club sold out in. I think we actually sold them out before we started selling them. I mean, we offered right of first refusal to last year's, and that sold out. And even the Sunday sampler, the Sunday one-day ticket, completely sold out. So
that
don't believe what you hear and read about the industry. The engagement, the sips to lips, the consumer and the distillery and buying the bottles, it's still very, very much a big thing. So,
Yeah.
Well, think about it. It's kind of like, I don't care what anybody says. Let's just say there is a little as far as purchasing, but as far as enjoying bourbon, all of us are, I can enjoy bourbon. I have about 1,500 bottles. I can stop purchasing the rest of my life and still leave 800-900 bottles to my son and kids and everything. So it's just because everybody's not buying to increase their we grew our collections. It used to be people in Kentucky had these collections of these sizes, and now the whole country people consistently, and there's even some really, really awesome collectors that allow, but everybody's here to share. So, that's the thing. The Kentucky Bourbon Festival isn't just about purchasing whiskeys and bourbons, it's about tasting them, but it's about getting together with family and friends.
and it's always been that. It was that before it was buying.
Yeah.
We started this revisioned based on that the social piece, the interaction, the camaraderie, the ability to talk to the distilleries, and then in the sampling. But then when the sales came in, it changed. But I never want to lose that. The core of this is still the social aspect of getting together with friends and, the Bourbon Buddies, which was kind of the first year's theme that we never actually got off the ground because of COVID. But I mean, that was the whole thing, is people get together. It's a big reunion. Sometimes people only see each other at the festival, you see each other hugging on Friday, and then Sunday hugging. Hey, see you next year. And I love that about this thing.
I remember though that COVID auction that you were pulling the names out to see who won the bottles, the signed bottles. And as I'm watching, I remember this. It's like Harlan Wheatley, Blanton's, Martin Nash. And I'm like, it's Super Nash. And I'm like, whatever, he's gonna call me. So I call him and he's like, no, I was cutting my grass. So I got to tell him, but that was like even a moment of online friendship right there. So even that was something you were able to just jump through the computer screen and make me, so that's kind of cool.
And that was before he was officially Super Nash.
That's right.
He was Martin still at that point.
No, actually,
he's later.
No, you got him to be Super Nash because we came down in September because when the festival was physically canceled, we came down, and then this was in October. So even though you didn't have a festival to throw, you came over to the house. So that was awesome. So yeah, you had named him Super Nash.
I was thinking that the house. Yeah, I was thinking the house was the following spring after the October. I thought, oh yeah, you're right. It was it was the weekend that we were supposed to have been doing the festival.
I still have that bottle.
I would just had gotten that name from you a couple months before.
Yeah.
He's
So
Super
here we
Nash.
are, 27 days and 20 hours from opening.
It always seems like it's over, and then you're like, oh man, it's a year away, but it gets here so quick.
Oh God.
6 years. This is the 6th year. So, it's the 35th year total, which is amazing, and that's a testament to the community and a lot of the distilleries that stuck us out before we changed, and then blew up. But I have a barrel head here that was signed by 9 master distillers, and that was the 9 distilleries that were involved in the 2019 festival, and then. We forget about 2020, and then we went to 34 in 2021, and half of them, 17, were craft, which was the first time we were allowed craft, and now I think we're actually at 70 brands, distilleries and/or brands, and well over 300 SKUs, different things that you can sample and buy. So, and still probably over half now are craft. I mean, I think we're 45 or 46 craft brands, and the balance are the the mid-size and the big guys, and they love it. I mean, I've had a few distilleries that said, there's whiskey events all over the country. We've given up on all of them. We're going all in for Kentucky Bourbon Festival, which is humbling, and that also kind of a testament to what we've all collectively built here. Very simple recipe. Focus on the distilleries first, and then make sure that we have the right bourbon.
Well, you've seen it progress since the COVID year. You've seen it progress every year. There's been not only what you are doing with the different VIP sections and the double-decker smoking lounge, and you can name all these things that you and your staff have done, but then the distilleries have upped their game significantly. I mean, last year they built a smoking deck, and you sit there and watch them Wednesday building this actual deck, like on the side of somebody's house, just in the middle of nowhere. Here it is.
Well, and we finally. It took us a few years, and I can't say that the spirits industry and the bourbon segment, they're not that quick on the picking up something. They're really slow to adapt and grab and really start doing something. But bottle sales took us a little while. But we've been saying, like, you've got the top bourbon enthusiasts from around the world now. I mean, U.S. for sure, but they're starting to do, like, the Consumer Electronics Show is for tech, the iPhone release and things like that. We've got several distilleries that are launching new product lines at this festival. I mean, they've been ramping up for a year, and they're planning their entire production and marketing and everything around bringing it out at the Bourbon Festival. And I always knew we'd get here, but to see, especially the bigger ones, the small craft distilleries, it's easy for them to, boom, let's do that. But when it comes to the larger ones with all the, they got bookkeeping and, finance, and they got a legal department, to see them actually be able to stay true and diligent and actually get this, get it through. So you're going to be really blown away by some of the products that you see getting released for the first time at the festival, and in a couple of cases, only at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. We've got a couple of things that you'll never be able to find anywhere outside of the 3.5 days of the Bourbon Festival in Bardstown. So,
well, that totally makes sense. I mean,
on that note,
go ahead, CT.
oh, on that note, you were saying there, how many barrel picks are you guys doing this year? Because there's a lot.
If Stacy's on here, she might need to help me in the notes, but we're right around 30. I really wanted to get to 35 because of our 35th, and Stacy and I agreed early on that we wouldn't tell someone no if we went over, but if we were close to 35, I wanted to encourage a couple. And we've been as high as 44 and as low as 11 the first year, but that 30 just seems to work, and we've never told anyone no. We've had a couple of picks where we're there and we can't make a decision between one or two, A or B. So we end up, bottling both barrels and going for it. So, but it's so fun. And we literally were just sitting up at you've been at the bar upstairs in our office, the new bar. Mm-hmm. And me and Todd Magner, who's the president of Cutter Construction, recently retired actually, but now he's one of our main volunteers and he's actually on staff. And Rick, who is a volunteer from the community, we're sitting there talking about that Maker's Mark bottle, the very number one first single barrel we ever did, even before I didn't know what a single barrel was. And Denny and Jane and Rob, Bill, Thomas Bolton, who's on our board, donated a barrel because they love the direction of the festival. And we're sitting there, we opened one, a couple stashed up there for, just for archives. And we were talking about the first year, and I went to Rabbit Hole. We were the first Rabbit Hole, and the KBF was the first single barrel collaboration they had ever done. And then we went and did Knob Creek, and then we Four Roses, and it was just a pretty fun way to start this thing off. And then to see it blow up to, I think we ended up at 22 the next year with Justin's House of Bourbon, and then we're at like 20. And then Stacy got involved and really took ownership of this thing, and almost a full-time job just doing barrel picks. I mean, we had 44 one year. Well, I couldn't keep going to them all. You look at a calendar, and you take 40 days out of anyone's calendar. That's a lot of time. And, so anyway, I mean, Stacy's really taking a hold of this thing and blowing it up.
Well,
so.
she's an expert.
She said
barrel
37.
pick. Yeah. We made 30. You made the 35 for sure. I'll say, as far as
Stacy's a rock star. I mean, you know that. Stacy's a rock star. She's organized, but she's got an amazing palate, and she knows what she's doing. So that's fun.
She said 3 brands. They're the first barrel picks they've ever done at the festival this year. The first barrel picks. Their 3 brands are doing the releasing. And then I'll say initially, I just remember going to the Bourbon in the Air in the one year where you guys where you could sell bottles for the first year. And Kevin Hill was releasing some of the stuff they couldn't release during COVID that they had gotten ready. And people started losing their minds. And that was like, for me, the starting point of, I would say the word for this year that I really didn't always hear, but a lot of people in the industry always hear it. But when you're talking, when the general public is legitimately hearing the word SKUs, it's going to be big, because everybody wants, people are bringing, and if you think about the SKUs off the first year that you did the barrel pick with Justin's House of Bourbon, it wasn't even close to that, 300 SKUs. It's just like, it's crazy how ready people are when they're there, and how much they just love the festival. You got the tasting and the festival, and then you've got this special bottle collection that the distilleries are realizing they know how many people are there. so that if there's a demand. So if they're going to release something special, they can make sure most people will get it. And that's what I mean. Last year, what Old Forester was doing with their 375 releases, that was like I was the 117. You know, that was like so exciting to be able to walk away. I think I bought 3 different ones, and they all were something that I'm not able to get when I'm here in Ohio. So I mean, it's just fantastic.
How did that Bardstown Bourbon Company Cathedral work out for you last year?
You mean, yeah, that worked out fantastic. It's up on my top shelf right here. It's signed. Happy birthday. Thank you. I'll put that one right there. It's still, we put a little dent in it at the Packer game. I'll tell you this, my friend.
I
My ticket source is he that works for the paper company retired, but his son works for the paper company. And today, when I was on the phone, I was talking to him because my cousin's in Croatia right now, and I was talking to him, and I asked him, you know, your dad got us some tickets. Will those still be available? And he's like, oh yeah, sure. So I got him getting some dates for the pack. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, that cathedral was fantastic.
you're tearing up now. You tear up every time I see you.
Of course I
You
did.
teared up. You cried when I gave you that cathedral.
Well, that was a special bottle. I didn't.
I gave it.
How could I?
But I met you at those parking lot when you got out of the truck and you were crying. So I mean, I'm just used to that.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Randy, the other than Jeff crying, the one thing I think for people that have been to Bardstown that's changed a lot, in my opinion, is the town is significantly transformed in the last 3 years. Like there are more shops, there's more things to do. I'm not saying outside downtown Bardstown, because the actual Bardstown area for sure has, but downtown area around the square with the addition of like Chicken Cock's Place and Evergreen Liquors, and then it's just kind of morphed into more and more, and every year it's like the town is growing around this festival as well.
Well, and neat. I mean, the bar, you know, in the old newspaper, you got Mr. Tubbs. You know, I mean, Old Steelhouse opened their tasting room. You know, Liam Ash actually expanded, and so yes, there's a lot of good things going on, and you all know. I mean, the town was not extremely warm to the changes that we made early, but now that we've got 6 years under our belt, the business community certainly gets it. I mean, they understand. You know, the cash register rings, and it's a great weekend for them. So, and we always knew it would be. It was just a matter of kind of, I had to duck a lot and, you know, kind of make sure I had my Groucho Marx, you know, disguise on.
And they got to buy in. They got to buy into the process that it's good for everybody. It's not just something that you're doing for yourself or a few people. It's a community thing.
Well, and the cool thing last year on the Sunday, I was out in the Bourbon Breezeway, the church parking lot that we actually put turf down. We were standing out there in front of Lofted Spirits, and I got talking to one of the Oris President's Club members, and that's the $7,000 24, limited to 24. And Kyle, local kid, and he was against us. He was one of the ones that really disliked what we did the first couple of years. And then somebody gave him a free ticket to come. Like I'm going to say 2023, he came on a free ticket. 2024, he paid for a ticket. 2025, he's like, I'm going to go VIP if I'm going to do that. And his words were, I'm going to swing for the fence. And he bought the $7,000 VIP experience. And he brought 2 or 3 guys last year on a free ticket and kind of started that whole cycle again. So slowly we are winning the community over. The bourbon drinkers in Bardstown are getting it. If you really aren't a bourbon drinker and you just wanted to be kind of the outside looking in and you're just going to be mad because we put a fence up and dared to charge a ticket, we're not going to convert them. But if you really truly are in industry and working in the warehouse or you're in the, distilleries, by now that what we're doing is good for the business, right? I mean, especially now with the market kind of normalizing and refiguring out what post-COVID looks like. We're important now. I mean, we are a blip on the financials. You know, the CFO is looking at the Bourbon Festival before, and it was all expense. And now they look at it, and what's this big spike in September? Oh, that's Bourbon Festival weekend. And so we just knew if we stayed the course and keep producing a great event focused on the distilleries, that the consumers would fall in line and love what we're producing. And here we are.
Well,
but we don't take it for granted. You know, we're always working to make it better and make sure we're revisioning and retooling as we need, so we're relevant. We don't want to be irrelevant to the industry.
Well, also, I mean, it's legitimately, you're setting up, but it's a 4-day, a 3-day, 3-night, right? A 3-day, 3-night festival. I mean, Sunday night the festival's over, but Thursday night's when it starts. And if the local people, and when you visit Bardstown, they haven't, I mean, you can't even, what would you say? Not only has this festival just exploded on this weekend, but it's led to other things that happened, like the week of the National Bourbon Day which was that 14th of the Sunday, June 14th, I think, right? Wasn't it?
Now it's National Bourbon Week.
Yeah, now then it goes to
next year.
Right.
Next year it starts on National Bourbon Day, Monday the 14th, National Bourbon Day, and it runs that whole week.
Right, but
and that's turned into huge numbers.
But that's the fest. That's so much happening in Bardstown. I mean, that's not the festival, but that's because of the festival. This has exploded in the city, and then they come up and do all these other things because you basically, Bardstown is completely on the map with this. Like the whole country, it's no different than Canton and the Pro Football Hall of Fame weekend. When the Hall of Fame is with the inductees and everybody's here, this town is rocking. But then the rest of the year, the town goes back to being, it has a Hall of Fame, and you still have the museums, and you have all the distilleries. It goes back to being Bardstown. And if you can't handle that locally, then you're not a fan of bourbon in the area, and you should probably not. If you're not a fan of bourbon and you live in Bardstown, you're kind of wasting your time. You can live in about 2,000 other little cities that don't have bourbon as the main theme, right?
For the record, my disclaimer is that I didn't say that.
I said it.
That was Tiny saying that.
Yeah, I said
you
it.
You live in Bardstown. You love Bardstown. Stay there. I don't care what you enjoy.
I love Bardstown. Well, no, but I'm just saying overall, Bardstown. When you go there, everybody in the industries, at the restaurants, at the bars. It doesn't matter what weekend you're there. You're going to see somebody. I mean, I was there and we ran into Potter Jane. What? Okay, why am I?
Denny and Jane.
No, just
Denny,
Jane. We just ran into Jane, and she was talking to Marcy from. They're having lunch from Preservation, and I talked to them both at a table, and that's just a normal day. It's a normal Thursday.
Is that where the restraining order started, Tiny?
No, but what I'm saying is, it's just like it's amazing when it's just the regular town, and then when this weekend, it's so much fun, and and like you
no doubt.
And like I heard someone say, at first people were upset that you had to pay $20 a ticket, and now they're upset that they can't get, I believe this year was 175, was it? What was it?
225. And then if you bought them on the insider, they were 205.
Yeah, okay.
And the first year, 2021, the tickets were $10.
Yeah,
$20 for all weekend.
Right, for the whole weekend.
And I got the big target put on me for that one. But you're right. Denny and Jane, Michelle Lux, and Don, Lux Rowe, Jim Rutledge, it gets seen around there. It's just Bill and Rob Samuels. I mean, the legends and icons.
Even
Bardstown just has a great vibe. I mean, when you go through the different areas of Kentucky and Frankfurt's got their vibe, and Louisville and Lexington have their vibe, but Bardstown it's a totally different kind of feeling there. And all of them are bourbon communities. I mean, let's be honest, you go just about anywhere in Kentucky, it is, but Bardstown just got a neat, old, quaint feel to it. The other thing that's happened, and we were talking about the things that it's done for the area, but look at what it's done for the bed and breakfasts and the hotels.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get a bed and breakfast during the week of KBF if you haven't booked it over a year in advance.
Yeah.
Hotels are very similar if you want to stay at some of the special ones like
The Trail.
what is it, the Trail?
Yeah.
The Trail. What an amazing place. And again,
Oh,
would they have done that? Would that exist the way it does if it weren't for the festival? And it probably wouldn't. I mean, people come to visit the distilleries, but the what this brings to town makes it possible for something like that to exist too.
Well, I take a little bit of a variance, and thank you, CT, but I believe people are coming, because of the distilleries and everything they've done. I think sometimes they choose the time of year to come because of the festival, and we've had that conversation with the Bourbon Trail. There's a lot of people that come to the Bourbon Trail in September. Now, if the festival was at a different time, I think people would still come and do the trail, and they would just kind of schedule their visit around whenever that festival could be. We could be in June, we could be in, April, and people would come to the festival, and that would spike, attendance and everything. So I think I think the festival influences, when people come and how long they stay here for sure. But I don't know that if the festival wasn't here, I do believe people would still be coming. And we predate at 35 years old.
I think the festival is every bit a part of the trail. The festival before you, because I was there in 2019, and I did the Bourbon Trail that year. I finished it. I did the whole Bourbon Trail when I was down there. And the festival had, that year was a year that it was a little bit different. They still had the whole kind of fair thing going, but they were able to, the 9 distilleries that were there you could be in VIP, and you could walk around with a drink. But things have changed so much. But I'm just telling you, the shine and the polish when people come, and now people are coming because of the festival. That's why it sells out. And then when they get there and they see what the rest of the story is, I mean, and it is the rest of the story. The distilleries, the people, the collections, everything that's happening, the parties at all the distilleries outside of the festival, that just brings a vibe that people want to come back and experience Bardstown. And even now, like you said, the restaurants and whatever, like the Trail Hotel, I don't think in 2019 survives the way the festival has evolved, that the trail to go through Bardstown, and now people will stay at that hotel all the time, year round. Whereas before,
and I agree with that. I agree with that. I think we attract a high-end consumer that appreciates quality and is willing to go off of the value level. People that are like driven by a $109 room rate versus the trail when they're at $259 or whatever. I do agree. I think we have attracted a higher end clientele from a consumer. Now, there's always room for corporate, hotels. There's all these distilleries, and they have corporate headquarters, Beam Suntory and everything. So I think there's always probably a room for a higher end lodging. But I do, and the people that come to the Bourbon Festival, we know that they come back several times during the year. And I love that. I mean, we are an economic driver. I mean, we're tourism. It's more than just the 3 or 4 days of the festival. We're an economic driver for the week, for that weekend. But we know that people come back throughout the year, and that's the whole trail. I mean, Frankfurt, Lexington, Owensboro. I mean, they all get, and Louisville, certainly downtown Louisville. I mean, they get a bump.
Well,
because
also
of the exposure that they've gotten, maybe as a result.
And as you keep going, the experiences of the distilleries that they're giving that they're figuring out at the festival kind of makes them, you're there and maybe you didn't know about dark arts, and they give this experience, and you have whatever, how they set up. I don't know how actual physically they're setting up the tent, but as these people keep doing this, that makes you want to go to their distilleries, and it's an advertisement along. So let's talk about some of the cool new things that that have happened as far as the polish that people can expect when they're going in. What's the exciting things that are happening this year?
Well, I'd like to think that the first thing that people will see is that we've listened. And I mean, we knew it last year watching it real time, but we listened to feedback from the customers before they even get to the gates. People were camping out, and it was something like we've never seen before, all going around the block. But this year we added a second gate for general admission. So we used to have the main gate where you go through like the Rick House structure, and that was it. And then we had the VIP gate. And so this year we added a second GA gate. So if you're waiting in line, we're going to have two gates to get people in twice as fast. The VIP gate, we're going to protect a little more to be, respectful of our 800 VIPs that pay a lot of money to have their own private entrance and an early entrance to the grounds. So to the VIP people that might be watching and hearing this, we heard you. You're not going to have general admission people, coming in there. So from 11 to 1 every day, it's going to be VIP only. And the GA folks who we love, they're going to be sent to the other two gates further down, closer to the craft area, to get in. And you're still going to get in quickly now, but we're trying to make sure that the VIP experience is protected, but we are also taking care of our general admission friends that are coming in. That'll be the first thing that you see, is just how we're getting people into the festival. This is probably the first year that we've not done major changes to the layout. So if you were at last year's festival, for the most part, everything is going to be where you remember it. The craft distilleries, that area has grown. The VIP tent is still the exact same tent. The main stage with the Bourbon 30 show is going to be in the exact same spot. The main lawn in front of Spalding Hall, except for a little bit of reconfiguring, and a couple of the smaller craft distilleries, stepped up onto the lawn and have a bigger presence there. It'll still feel, Beam is where they were, Spalding Hall, and the Oscar Getz, museum, the Bourbon History Museum is there, obviously. You go out into the St. Joseph's parking lot, the Bourbon Breezeway, as we call it. It's still going to be carpeted, and it's going to have, the big fans and the sunscreen. Hopefully it's sun, not rain shelter. The big difference probably is there's more distilleries out there, and the great tent, which is our premium education, is moved back in kind of closer to where it was when it started the first year. But other than that, it's not really a big change.
So you kept
the layout last year. We've tightened it up a little bit.
So you kept the media tent,
distilleries.
media tent in the same place.
Media tent. No, that media tent is going to be down closer to like where the operations, down by the Brick House restaurant, down below there. Still air conditioned, still private restrooms. Just, it doesn't need to be right in the middle of the festival grounds. And we had several distilleries that wanted bigger spaces. So we haven't announced it. And I don't know that we're going to plan on it, but Whistle Pig is in this year. So they stepped up. So they'll be in there with Michter's and barrel craft spirits. You've got Chicken Cock, Lux Row, Rabbit Hole, Angel's Envy, Whiskey House. The double deck structure is going to be right inside the main gate. So kind of years ago where Preservation was, right inside the main gate, that's where the double deck Whiskey House of Kentucky is going to be. But again, it's going to be very similar. The one thing we did new this year, and I've been trying to roll this out, is more of this corporate hospitality. If you remember a couple years ago, CT, you mentioned about like the double decker, the second floor, the smoking lounge. Mm-hmm. If you picture that, it was like a larger space and then had 3 smaller suites. We took that same concept and put it on the ground. So right where Media Tent was last year is a new place called the Speakeasy. So general admission people could buy a slight upgrade and get into kind of a VIP light, I'll call it. They walk in and they still have a bar. They'll get drink tickets, and then you can upgrade from that and get one of the smaller suites. I'm trying to roll out the whole corporate hospitality, more like what you'd see at Churchill Downs for the Derby week or at PGA at the different golf outings. People maybe not wanting to just buy tickets, and maybe they don't want to be a sponsor, but they want to entertain their own clients and bring their friends and family in. We're slowly launching that. So this year is kind of the debut of that concept, and next year we'll blow it out where it'll be the whole, hospitality village, for lack of better terms. But you will walk in and basically feel at home. You'll feel like you remember. It feels familiar. It'll be very similar.
I think that's good too. I think it where people get to know where they're going. They come in, and if they were there last year and they know they want to go to Heaven Hill or whatever brand it is nice to have familiarity with where you're going.
Absolutely. Well, and we needed to change the first couple of years because we were all kind of experimenting. What works, what flow works, what layout works. But to your point, CT, Heaven Hill is going to be in the exact same spot they were last year. Maker's Mark will be next to them. Lofted Spirits and Bardstown Bourbon Company Green River is going to be closer to the church side of the lot, where the great tent was. But we've got Preservation, Four Roses. So we've kind of reconfigured that, but it's still going to feel, and it's a small venue. 3 days, you can see everything. But I like to change and listen to the distilleries and listen to the guests, but I also don't want to just keep changing for the sake of changing. And this is the first year where I feel like we've gotten to the point where we don't need to make these just wholesale changes. The craft area is going to be exactly the way you saw it last year, with the exception of maybe 5 or 6 new distilleries. And it's a fun venue. Everybody wants to be. We actually had some of the larger distilleries that wanted to stay where they were, but they wanted to have a second location down in the craft area because that's kind of a cool place to hang out. And we didn't let them do that because the craft world is, where they need to, make their mark. And we've had more of the craft distilleries, and it's very humbling, but several over the years that have come up to me literally in tears and say that their brand may not have survived for another year had it not been for the connections that they made and impressions with the consumer that was made at the Bourbon Festival. And we take that very seriously. We know we're playing sometimes with people's, careers and lifetime savings and investments. And so that's also very fun. And every year there's someone new that emerges. And you remember EJ Curley came out of nowhere, the first and second year. You saw last year Macaulay with Dark Arts. We knew he was good, but we had no idea. In between Pursuit, Kenny and Ryan showed up. They were doing, the podcast thing and had their own brand, and all of a sudden the brand took off. So that's really what I love seeing is, you can't crystal ball who's going to be the hot brand. Who knows? Whistle Pig coming in is going to be a big ad for us for sure. There's a lot of anticipation. We've got commitment this year that Wild Turkey is coming in 2027 in a big way.
Awesome.
So, for those of you who have been following us for a couple of years, they wanted to be there. Wild Turkey never not wanted to be at the Bourbon Festival, but there's some out of market, ad agencies and some, Campari and some different politics. But they will be there this year walking and observing and taking notes so they can come back and kill it next year. So that's just a little tease for next year. You're not going to see Wild Turkey here this year, but they will be in, and they're going to be a serious player.
So is it just 1792 again, or is Trace back in?
No, 1792, which amazing. But we have conversations going, and we're talking like David Mandel to Sazerac president conversations going on with Sazerac. We missed out. We got Whistle Pig in, and we got Wild Turkey in this year, which are good pickups for us. But it never stops. So when people say, "What do you do the rest of the year?" This is what we do. We're constantly talking to the decision makers on these brands, and the festival is more relevant and more important now than it was a year or 2 years ago, even because bottle sales is what it's about. And so we're not just a marketing and an event. It's a serious business decision that people are making to be at this festival because they know the long term, short-term immediate bottle sales, but the ramifications of that is long. When people are going to their own bottle shops back home, the connections and the impressions that were made in Bardstown now influences, decisions to the consumer when they're standing in front of the shelves in their hometowns.
Well, it makes sense, honestly, that Sazerac has 1792 there, and Buffalo Trace kind of takes the, like 1 year it took a little backseat, but then they're not, because Buffalo Trace doesn't need any help selling bottles, and 1792 as a brand, I think it can really shine at the festival. So that makes a lot of sense where they're coming from, because it's like
I'll tell you a little. Yeah, I'll tell you a little side story on that. And you all remember when VIP was upstairs that first year, and Blanton's was going to be the official bourbon of VIP, and they backed out right before. And it wasn't. They've never not believed in the vision. They didn't have the product, and more importantly, there's 7 people that work on the staff for Blanton's, like the actual front office. So they said, Randy, we can't do it. We don't have the product. We don't have the manpower. So they gave it up. And I went to 1792, and they immediately took that. And that first bar, when you came off the elevator, was the 1792 activation. And I was just so happy, because 1792 was always kind of the redheaded stepchild, maybe, of Sazerac. I mean, Buffalo Trace and all the brands always got in front.
Back then, yeah, I'll give you that. Back then, yes.
Yeah. So I was so happy to see 1792 step up and own that, and they've never looked back. And then, Ross and his team are, near and dear friends. I mean, they're amazing partners. They're year-round friends.
Yeah, Ross is amazing.
I've never been in a big hurry to go out and really spend a lot of time on getting everyone else from the Sazerac stable in. We've got 1792. Now we will welcome Buffalo Trace in.
Oh,
if
yeah.
They decide that they want to come in.
Yeah, but
like Blanton's is going to be there this year. Aaron Lawrence, who is like the main guy at Blanton's, emailed me the other day and said, "Hey, Randy, can I get a couple tickets? We want to come out and see the festival and see all the amazing things that are happening." So there's brands that want to be here. They just need to kind of like build the case with powers that be that maybe are outside of the market. I mean, Wild Turkey has always wanted to be here from the local people. It was always that Campari now is a whole new layer of, decision making and out of market decision making, which is tough to get around. But I'm patient. We'll wait. I'm not going to go chase people, but they'll figure it out and they'll be here. And Stacy's got the little waiting list now. Every year we always have a waiting list. We always work to get everybody in because we don't want to tell people no. But
hey, Randy,
there's some cool stuff coming up for 2027. We're not even into 2026's festival, and we're already looking at some really cool stuff for 27.
Tim Dant asked, what about Horse Soldier with their new facility there in Kentucky? Are they slated to be there anytime, or is that still in the works?
I will be honest, that's a Stacy. If Stacy's still hanging on here, I know there's a lot of like contract distilling going on and brands that are coming in under their contract distillers. And then there's new distillery licenses that are coming out and new production. So if Stacy, if you're still here, if you can give a yes or no answer that the boys can see. But Horse, they're definitely talked about. I mean, there's no doubt that they're on the radar screen.
She said no. We both got it at the same time.
Okay. Well, I mean, the whole thing, beyond being associated as a Kentucky bourbon, they have to actually have a distiller's license, or whoever is contract distilling for them has to be in the festival and have to bring them under their umbrella. So,
which is awesome.
There's several of those between Whiskey House and Lofted Spirits, Bardstown Bourbon Company. There's a lot of brands that are coming in that don't even know about that Stacy would know.
Well, in this thing, so the Whiskey House is the Packers and Bardstown Bourbon Company is the Bears.
Once again, that's your analogy. I'm not going to say yes or no.
You shouldn't.
I mean,
but
they're rivals. I mean,
of course, yes.
Watching and listening.
They're rivals like the Packers and the Bears. They're like they want to play every year, and one wants to be able to say, "I won." There's no doubt.
Yeah.
And then when I hear it, it's just
I love them both. Literally, Dan Calloway from Lofted Bardstown Bourbon Company is my board chairman, and David Mandel of Whiskey House is my vice chair, who's chairman-elect. So, I mean, I love them both, and they both are supportive of what we do. So I'm always very careful with, conversations about that.
You're the NFL. They're just teams.
I'm not Roger Goodell. I do not want to be Roger Goodell.
Anyways, but what the competition to me is so amazing is that, like, I've been dealing with the rep from Bardstown, and so Amy, she's like sending me samples. Plus, then we are gonna the Thursday morning before Kentucky Bourbon Festival at 10:30. We're in the whiskey library, and we are doing a podcast straight from Bardstown Bourbon Company with Dan Calloway, and then I'll try. I have not even been to the whiskey house because it's not a public thing. And last year I got to talk to David, with an interview. But I'm so far, looking forward to, exactly, what they're doing. But their brands, like, she's like, well, if you want to talk, we're bringing some people in under the umbrella. And that made me excited because you guys are doing everything you can to get as many brands in, because like when that would have been with Greg Schneider, Chicken Cock could have come in under that umbrella at the time because they were distilling, and then at this point they wouldn't have had to do what they did with the tasting room and the still in downtown Bardstown. But that's a good thing they did. You know what I mean? They did that whole thing so they could be it's part of the bourbon. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, they absolutely needed to do that. I mean, the fact that you can get in under the contract distillers umbrella, that sure, but they needed to make that investment, that brand, and they needed to have that presence. So,
yep.
And I believe the festival was the thing that actually ultimately drove that decision. That was a safe investment. The old Harrison Smith house, and so I know the festival has those influences. I mean, there's a 4-day. Out of 365 days, there's 4 days of the festival, but a lot of decisions, a lot of things happen, domino effect that comes out of that. And, I like that. I love that part of it.
So, Randy, people are coming in, could be Wednesday or Thursday, but let's say people watching, they're like, hey, we're coming in Thursday night. If they don't have bourbon in the air, or is that still available, or what would you recommend they do? Because there's a lot going on in Bardstown. I'm sure Thursday evening. What are things you would suggest they do in preparation for Friday?
Well, and to your point, Bourbon in the Air has been a very limited number of tickets anyway, so no, they're not available. The Bardstown Tourism Office has like the calendar of events of all the things that are going on, and we try not to be like the concierge service, an itinerary planner. So we always direct people like looking for things to do to go to the official tourism office to look up. But I mean, if they have tickets and they're coming for the 3-day, I mean, in all seriousness, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So hydrate and get some rest. And if I know several of my friends that are coming in as groups, and they'll do the rock, paper, scissors to see who has to be DD on Friday, and everyone else gets to have fun. We want people enjoying responsibly. And I had a meeting with the Bardstown Police Chief yesterday, and again, I'm knocking on wood if you hear it in the background. 6 years of this event, and considering what you're doing, you're sampling bourbon for 3 straight days. We've not had any incidents related to the festival. And again, I'm knocking. This is not a jinx thing, but we have smart LitCom. We have smart friends that make sure that they're helping and managing their friends, and they go home safely. They come back year after year. And so that's the big thing. But I would say, if you're in town and you're looking for something to do, I mean, the Bourbon Trail is right there. And go to Bardstown Tourism and take a look at what they have going on. And, a lot of the restaurants and bars are doing their own promotions. A lot of the distilleries are doing their own kind of like bar takeovers where their representatives are going to be out. Evergreen, right down the street. I mean, they're always doing events and doing, limited bottle sales. They're doing engraving, customizing of bottles. So I guess I would start on 3rd Street and go up and down, but start at Evergreen and talk to them.
Or
See what
or just call CT because he'll know the hot party.
Yeah.
Or you could be like Jeff and bring a tent and camp out at Heaven Hill.
I was reminded yesterday by the police department there is an ordinance about camping. You cannot camp out.
Oh, there you go, Jeff. You're in trouble.
Hey,
now,
just so
Jeff.
you know, podcasting is not camping out. Even if you podcast overnight, it's still not camping out.
I have pictures of you sleeping on the bench.
That's just loitering at that point.
I think I got that same picture.
It's a misdemeanor. Loitering is a misdemeanor, so you can still be.
Oh, look, he's pouring cathedral.
Yes, of course, in honor of my friend.
It's your show, guys, but let's show what we're all enjoying and why.
Well, I'm
Jeffrey. You got the cathedral.
I just pulled out the cathedral, and that one is a very special. But I feel like when you're on the podcast, we're together, so it's something. Yeah, that's an amazing. That bottle is across the country right now, just on fire. Heaven Hill did a really good job to get that out there. Everywhere I go, I see it, and it's like funny because I believe it's $69.99 at the liquor store or the agency, and I remember paying $65.99 when it was the Jim Murray's Bourbon of the Year at the distillery, wanting to get something, and that was available, thinking how cool that was, and now to think this many, and it still is such a fantastic pour. I love the flavor.
I enjoy this bottle a little more than other bottles, even if it's because someone very near and dear to me gave me this, which is what bourbon is all about, right? I mean, you're sharing and there's memories, and someone gave this to me to kind of cheer me up and to make sure that I had something to enjoy. So I'm going to drink it down to maybe the last drop or two, and then I've got something that I'll keep the glass out for. And I'm pretty sure that person's still kind of following along here, so thank you.
There you go.
Well, mine is way more. Nash, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking Booker's The Reserves that I picked up at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival last year. And that's the reason I'm having a pour of it. It's real good.
Yes.
And I stood in line for probably about an hour to get it. It was released at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. So that's why it's kind of special to me.
Yeah,
you guys are partners, but also you're consumers, and you're important to us and the industry. So thank you, Nash, because that hour of time investment was makes a big difference.
That's the thing. People probably don't think this, but not just us as podcasters, but there's a lot of podcasters that go. But we are just like everybody else. Like, we go around and we try different things. We buy different things. We don't expect anybody to say, hey, here you go. We enjoy buying bottles, not only that are rare, but are rare to us. Like, there's these barrel picks. I'm drinking Chicken Cock. 7-year was one of the last ones I think that Greg did before he left. And we did a lot of barrel picks that were just, they're all great. The Old Forester ones, you name it. Jim Beam, we've had some really good barrel picks. I saw Jeff had earlier. Did you have that Augusta bottle, Jeff?
Oh yeah, that one now open for a little bit too is just, oh my God, is that good?
Wait until you see this year's. They have not even released. We don't know what the age statement is on the bottle. They haven't even released it to the people yet. It's going to be revealed at the thing.
Well, and CT, can I just for like a asterisk on your statement that you're a podcaster, but you're also there like buying. For everybody at home, the three of these guys come in on Tuesday, and they're volunteers on the hottest couple days of the year. They're unloading distilleries. They're carrying two-wheel dollies. They're carrying product. helping our distilleries get ready to open on Thursday night. So thank you for that, because it's more than just talking about us and promoting us during the year and being friends and coming to the festival and being friends. You're there for 3 or 4 days before we open to make sure we can open. So I'll cheers to that for you all.
Cheers.
Hey, cheers.
All I can say is they're wearing the staff. It's fun being staff at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. One of the things that's great is to form relationships with the people, also the people that are hired to set up the festival year in and year out. And we always see the volunteers are consistently the same, and then the people that set up the festival are fantastic. You know how you go about it. It's top to bottom, from the people who set it up to tear it down, to the people who work there, to the people who volunteer. I mean, the quality of people is the bourbon industry, and it's the bourbon lifestyle. Go ahead.
You remember year one, 2021, right? CT, were you there first year? I know.
I don't think I was 21, 22, I think was the first year I came.
So the first year, it was me. I was the only employee, and I had 1 or 2 people that are still with me now, or with us now, and that was it. Volunteers weren't signing up to help because we were still very toxic. And I mean, it was stressful. I mean, it killed me. I mean, but year after year, last year we had over 100 volunteers, and I don't think that's counting you three. And now it's safe to volunteer. It's fun to volunteer. You're not getting chastised by your neighbors for volunteering to put this event on. And I've got probably, Stacy aside, five or six people that are absolute top of their games in the event industry. 3 of them were people that I hired and worked with at Churchill Downs to put on the Kentucky Derby. So our team now, I surround myself with people that can put on the Super Bowl and put on the All-Star game and can, and they're basically volunteers. I mean, let's face it, I don't have much money to pay people. They're highly compensated volunteers, considering what they could really be making if they're out there in the market doing events of this nature. But they do it because they love all of us. They love the family. I pay them in bourbon. Hell, half these people leave home. Stacy sets them up with 12 bottles of bourbon. It's like a shopping spree before they go home. But they remember that. We take care of them. We have a fun environment. We put them in good hotels. We feed them well. We make sure that they have bourbon and glasses and swag, shirts and things to go home with. Not every festival and event does that. You come in, you get paid, you go home. And these people come back, and during the year they take vacations to come back so they can really enjoy Bardstown and hang out and do tastings. And Stacy is like giving people tours and tastings, but they talk about that all year round. So you guys coming in is amazing to me, but it's taken me 6 years to assemble a team that we literally could go anywhere in the world and put on an event.
And this year, Stacy got the shirts right last year. I think this was the first year she actually liked these shirts.
Well, and next year when we do this, 1 year from tonight, when we do our match our shirts, we're all going to have staff shirts, but they're all going to be hot pink.
Oh, I'm in.
Yeah, so it's isn't September Breast Cancer Awareness?
If you guys are watching this at home, yeah. You see how I keep changing colors? I keep going from blue, green to red.
It's your phone. It does that auto. The new iPhone does that autofocus thing, and it does that. That's why I have to use my old phone to do that.
This is
a bad Ring camera that I now remember why I put it in a box. And then I took it out of the box and hooked up tonight. Now I remember why I don't use it. So this will be the one and only time I use this camera.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't call 911. I'm not having a stroke. It's okay.
So
you look very tan, and then you don't look so tan.
Exactly. I'm not tan.
So pretty much at this point now, just you've come this far, right? And as we kept going, as we go year to year, and you keep going further and further down this road, and we know, congratulations, you're with the festival for a few more years. That's for sure. You just made sure of that, and and it's great to be appreciated. You came from a once you came from Churchill Downs and the Kentucky Derby, and you came into this. As aware of whiskey, but not, and I wouldn't say, but you were new to bourbon to some extent, except from your exposure at the Kentucky Derby, right? And
Right.
now you've been on probably hundreds of barrel picks, and this festival has evolved. Are when you're doing it, when you were doing it year to year, did you think you get to this point this quick? I mean, it's
No, I
pretty
mean,
damn quick.
it sneaks up. It sneaks up on you. And I'm, first of all, I'm never embarrassed to admit that I don't know what I don't know. So when I came into this in January of 2020, I didn't know what a barrel pick was. My next door neighbor, I lived over by Westport Whiskey and Wine, who was one of the original, in Louisville area, that they, pioneers in that. And so I went and talked to them and learned about it. And I asked people, like, do people like these barrel picks? I mean, if we put our name on something, is that going to help motivate people to buy? Well, in the early days, no, because nobody knew who we were. But now I feel like, Stacy, doing some really bangers. I think that we built that up to where it means something now to buy a bottle that has the Kentucky Bourbon Festival on it. But when I was at Churchill Downs, I had a collection of bottles that were the annual Derby bottles from Woodford Reserve. Every year the bottles came out, Derby 141, 142, all the way to 159 and, whatever. And so I bought it, but I never intended to drink it. And I get this job, and all of a sudden, now I got to learn. I got to open bottles and start, enjoying it. And what I know now compared to what I knew in January of 2020, I've not seen the evolution, but like Steve Coombs, who was there on day one, he welcomed me on my first day on the job to where we are now. And we spoke this morning for an hour. He's like, Randy, you can't believe what the evolution. And then I see someone like Stacy or Steve or our friend Shannon that you all know, the palate and the expertise that they have. I'm 6 years in, and I figure I'll never stop learning. I mean, I immerse myself, and I always admit that I don't know. But when I lived in Gettysburg for a couple of years, I knew Gettysburg was a Civil War battlefield, but when I left after 3 years, I could have been a battlefield tour guide. I mean, Churchill Downs, my first day on the job, John Asher, who anybody knows Churchill Downs history, he was the guy. And I just said, what book do I need to buy? What do I need to do to immerse myself and learn about the Kentucky Derby? So I've always been, I believe in diving in and figuring it out. And it's been a very fun journey thus far. And Tiny, to your point, I got 5 more years minimum. And I'm building it. I'm building a succession plan, right? I mean, we've got younger people that we're conditioning and bringing them up. A couple of the old timers that, they're only hanging around because it's me. So if I leave, a couple of them leave, but we need to make sure that the next generation of, festival event planners and producers and, that can execute this thing won't let it slip when I finally do, walk away from it in a couple of years. But
I mean, you're there 5 more years. I will say, Kirk says, great show, and he's drinking Russell's Reserve. We'll probably private barrel selection, but I will say that we should wrap it up in a little bit quicker so that we can bring a couple people on to ask some questions that are so excited, because we don't always hang. Ooh, that's a nice one.
Brandon, single barrel,
The
nice.
114.
that's my latest. And Fred signed it for me somewhere here.
And I saw you at the barrel pick when Freddie stopped by. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. For everyone watching the Knob Creek pick, it's a 12-year-old, which does not happen very often. To do a 12-year-old in a single barrel program, and then to have Freddie No come along with us and endorse it. It was a pretty big day for us.
He's
So,
looking.
the Knob Creek is amazing.
He's starting.
My favorite bottle, 12-year-old Knob Creek of theirs.
Yeah, I'm going to buy that bottle. When I heard that, I was like, I haven't gotten a new Knob Creek off the festival for a while. But I will say this: your next 5 years, I have the new motto for you.
Yeah.
It is go big or go home. That should be the next 5 years.
We've already done that.
No, we're talking about big. We're talking about
You
big.
guys, when the next time we talk, it'll be after the festival, but before the next one, I'm gonna blow minds with what we have in store.
This is so
for
awesome.
the
I
future.
can't wait
And I'll be
to be a
ready
part
to
of it.
talk about it.
Yep.
I'm telling you, it is some stuff that will. But the distilleries are counting on us to do that. I mean,
I'm counting on you.
Piece of their marketing piece now, so we're gonna kill it.
Well, yeah. They're just you don't want to leave. You want to keep doing this and not leave anything on the table. And there's lots of possibilities for everything. I will say that just from the standpoint, we're good friends now, but it's so awesome to just see all along, from the point when I knew that I was I didn't realize actually I do. So in February of 2020 is when I first contacted you on Facebook. One of the coolest things.
Wait, are you saying that we're friends?
Yes, I am. And we're only.
I was sipping at the time and wasn't really paying attention.
Sorry,
February of 2020, and I just remember reading in January about you getting the after going to the festival, reading that there was a new Kentucky Bourbon, and you were a Wisconsin person who grew up in Wisconsin. You had ties to the Wisconsin State Fair and I'm just like, this person who is now taking over. And I knew that you had somewhat of a knowledge of bourbon. You might not have known certain things, but when you're doing the Kentucky Derby, bourbon is such a big part of it. It's not like you didn't know it existed. And I still respect the fact that you like beer. But we're from Wisconsin and you can't get it out of us. But knowing that you had those ties to Wisconsin, similar to what I had, I reached out to you on Facebook, and you were right off the bat accepting, and and it was just kind of a really cool thing to get to know you, as far as meeting you and then seeing, and then but once I met you,
I was scared. I was scared at first.
I get it, but I didn't. But the attention to detail on a festival. Whether it's bourbon or it's a fair or it's the Kentucky Derby or it's something at a football game, your attention to detail was something that I picked up right away, and I knew that you would be able to take this festival to. And every single time I was there, I always have the ability to visualize what could happen. That like I knew once the distilleries would understand what they could do here. That what you said this year was so exciting. They are going to release releases that only people who go to the festival are going to be able to get. Eventually, I could even see that during the time Bardstown liquor stores release festival releases along with the festival, so people who can't get into the festival can also buy the release in the area, which would then bring many more. But there's so much. But the fact that those releases are just for the festival, that's just people are going to go crazy because collectors love that kind of exclusive.
Jim Gaffigan's going to be there.
Yes,
his brand
with his,
and
I almost have a podcast booked with him.
Yeah,
I shy away from celebrities and celebrity brands. I really do. I'm always very leery of them.
Not here.
But I mean, Gaffigan's legit, and he's done a great thing for the industry with his stand up
bourbon.
But Jeffrey, when you were talking about that, I was briefly just kind of going down memory lane. And when the search firm that the KBF board hired to interview people, and then when I got to the full board and started interviewing, I got asked this question like 4 or 5 times. You seem to be overqualified for this role. Why would you want it? And I never thought of it that way. I never said, well, I used to run the Wisconsin State Fair and I used to run the Kentucky Derby. I've never once thought about that until they brought it up. But it was like, an event is an event, and if you've ever planned a backyard barbecue or a anniversary party, birthday party, it's the same thing.
Well,
when are people coming? They're going to park. What are they going to do when they're here? Who's getting the cooler? Who's getting the ice? What are we serving for food? Who's cleaning up? When are they leaving? That's basically the recipe for putting on this event. And I never once thought that I was overqualified or whatever. And so I poo-pooed that really quickly. But it's been the perfect.
They don't know what you did in the past. Okay, yes, you ended up at the Kentucky Derby. There's no doubt. So that's why they're thinking you're overqualified. But overall, when you're talking about the Wisconsin State Fair when you started and what it was and what you did to it and where it took what you did and kept evolving into what it is today, you had permanent structures. You did everything. And that's something that I knew when you grabbed, because I experienced what you did without even knowing you, because I went to the fair every year. You never got rid of the cream puffs. That was something that you obviously knew when you started, that was one of the big, you know what I mean? And now the cream puffs, you could go through the drive-through and get them for everybody at work or take them back home to wherever you are. I mean, there's certain things.
Did you see in Canton? I know in Louisville, they had a beer soft serve ice cream cone that debuted at the Wisconsin State Fair. And I'm watching Louisville news, Louisville television, WDRB and whatever, and they were getting for days the Wisconsin State Fair coverage of a beer ice cream cone, soft serve. So I'm assuming that was picked up in other television markets as well. Maybe it's just Louisville, but there were 3 or 4 days straight of nothing but Wisconsin State Fair and the soft serve beer ice cream. And so I knew. I mean, Wisconsin is one of the top 5 state fairs in the country. 1 million people a year, and it was a big deal, but it was a lot of fun. But there are things that I'm doing here that I picked up there and that I learned, and certainly, the Kentucky Derby,
but that's
20 million people watching that from around the world. I mean, that's a big deal, but I never really took that.
But when you looked at the Bourbon Festival, when you looked at it and you took that job, you looked at it the same way you look at everything. What can it be, not what it is? I mean, I don't know. The Derby over the years of the evolution right now, I mean, it has tradition and everything, but every year they're always looking to improve it just a little bit. I mean, what happens on TV is so much better. They've improved it, the coverage on TV, so much better than it even was, 5, 6, they're always looking to do something better, but I knew that's how
during the time that I was at Churchill Downs, they spent $1 billion, $1 billion on improving the venue during the time that I was there, and I was a part of every one of those, construction meetings and part of that. But you're right. I mean, you have to scale it. I mean, Bardstown, Kentucky, the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, you see the potential. But the one thing that I had here that I've never enjoyed before in my career is I had a board that knew that it had to change or we were going to be bankrupt, So the board was not desperate, but it was, this is the last shot we have. I mean, they literally voted at one point to dissolve the organization and whatever money we might have left, give it out to charities in Bardstown. And then they got serious and put money into it, and they went out and they got me, and then I got Stacy, and then I got the team, and I got you guys. And
I watched
Snowball.
I remember meeting Stacy at the barbecue, or probably a little bit earlier, but understanding exactly I also met her at Watch Hill proper the one year. She took us around
Yeah.
Watch Hill proper and showed me around there. That's kind of there. I had met her at the barbecue, then Watch Hill proper, and then when you hired Stacy, I had been to a couple festivals, and what I knew at a festival is when things started, there's always going to be issues. I remember Super Nash doing electrical work for you guys at the festival, making sure the power was getting to the certain places and that type of thing. And you had to, like you said, you were literally the one guy running around. And when you hired Stacy, she all of a sudden you could actually ask a question about something without bothering you because you had to concentrate.
And Stacy was a life and game changer. I didn't know who Stacy was. The first year she volunteered, and I remember her being a volunteer. But coming out of that, I had distilleries that either they knew who she was and said, Randy, you got to get her on the team, or people were like, whoever that person is, you got to get her on the team. So I was literally in the hospital right before Christmas for 4 days with pancreatitis, and I was writing Stacy's job offer in the hospital to get her ready to go. So I mean, that's how important she is to me and to us, that I'm laying there on morphine. And maybe I wouldn't have done the contract the way I did it had I been on morphine, but no, but I mean, very important. But when I see talent that can help us move the ball forward, I get it. And it's just, and the board has always said, if there's a profit after the festival, we're reinvesting in the team. Randy, if we have $50,000 left over that isn't already encumbered somewhere else, use that to, improve the team, get the resources. We exist to put on this festival. We don't have another mission. This isn't a fundraiser for something else. We exist to produce this event, to educate people, to draw people to, the bourbon capital of the world, and now to drive bottle sales and hopefully, tip the scales a little bit when it comes to the industry. And so, we put that money back into, the mission.
Randy, you just hit a thing I was wanting to know. Do you know how many bottles were sold at the festival last year?
They never tell us. I mean, the bigger distilleries, the mid to upper, if I know what a few of them sold, I'm going to say that the top half probably sold 10,000 bottles. Wow. And that's not counting the 45 or 50 craft level. I mean, I'm just doing this math real quick on the fly. It's got to be, millions and millions of dollars in bottle sales. Now, I will tell you that someone like Heaven Hill and Jim Beam, they've shared with me that the 3 days of the festival out on site, that those bottle sales outsell their bricks and mortar, their year-round gift shops.
Wow.
So
3 days.
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you, Jim Beam last year, in my opinion, they were like, they say there was the first day there was the lines for Heaven Hill and people were getting frustrated that they waited maybe 2.5 hours and they got nothing because Heaven Hill didn't have enough to meet that. And then Heaven Hill the next day starts it off, and then all of a sudden Jim Beam releases the most insane amount of whiskey on the planet, and everybody, and the line moved like crazy. Actually, they had so much available that you didn't have enough money to buy it all. You actually had to pick and choose what you wanted. And there was nobody. I mean, you're talking Knob 21. You're talking about that Booker's that he's drinking right there, the reserves. And then you're talking about they had the bowling pin. They had all 3 Hardin Creeks. I mean, you're just going through this and you're going, yeah, you guys delivered. And it wasn't like people were in line for hours and hours. They were moving them so fast. Yeah, and I think 25, 30, 40 minutes maybe you were in there and you got whatever you wanted. And all of a sudden I saw everybody being happy.
And,
They're really good.
and Jim Beam,
Here's a
uniquely
question,
for
Randy.
having as many bottles
super
as they're
nice.
doing, they actually have good cocktails set up too. They've got a great tasting area with the cocktails they do. And I don't know, does Heaven Hill even have that? I don't think so.
A couple years ago, they had like the ice cream that they
Yeah.
were selling or sampling or whatever. But I mean, but we talked to Beam and Heaven Hill and Maker's Mark year round now. I mean, you know, we the thing that frustrates me most about this festival is we see it real time. It's Friday, Saturday. Wow, that's an issue. Can we fix it and improve it now? But then we live for 361 days until we can show how we can improve it. But yeah, so anyway, I mean, Beam is really good about that, and Heaven Hill is definitely signed on as far as being part of the solution. And I don't think it's not a top secret thing. Heaven Hill estimated how many bottles they sold, and they also understood the problems that were created by bringing this highly allocated limited stuff when there's people are in line for hours. So, I mean, this year in Stacy, we promoted, they're doing basically it's a bourbon festival bottle. It looks like it's our bottle, but it's a blend of a 10, 12, and a 13-year-old. So it adds up to 35 for our anniversary. And other than our single barrel, that's what they're selling. But they've created enough product that everybody at the festival who really wants to buy a bottle can get that. And it's only available. So as far as being highly sought after and rare, you're not going to go anywhere else, including Heaven Hill, to the experience, to the gift shop. You're not going to buy it there. You have to buy it at the Bourbon Festival.
That's awesome.
It's amazing. Stacy gave me a sample of it, like the little test bottle. It's amazing, but it's only going to be available at the festival.
Well, now and then they're making enough for everybody at the festival, which is awesome. That's what you got to do. Yeah, have it all 3 days.
Right.
Have it so that people can walk up. They don't have to wait 40 hours in line. It's just always selling. Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Right.
Yeah.
And I hope,
One important
I really hope
question.
more and more do that. So sorry, Nash, go ahead.
Yeah, one important question that touches right on what you're just talking about is like the last couple of years, one of the big things was how like Heaven Hill and some of the other bigger places, when they're doing their releases, that they know how many bottles that they have, right, to release. And then
Yes.
you get lines out there that we're extending, you know, you get 400 or 500 people, but there's only 200 bottles, you know, just don't want
Yep.
to out there. Has anything been talked about to kind of, and I'm sure it has, to alleviate that and
Hours and hours and hours of discussions. Like if you're in line to buy this bottle, from this point on, you're probably not going to get it.
yeah,
Yeah, and I've always said people are going to be disappointed if they don't get the bottle. That's reality. I don't want them disappointed and then really mad that they stood in line and no one told them they weren't getting, you know. And then it also takes that person out of commission that all of these other distilleries could have been talking to them or selling them bottles, but no, I wasted an hour of someone's time in a line that they knew ahead of time they were never going to have a chance to get a bottle. So,
I mean,
and that's actually ultimately, that's why Heaven Hill did what they did. They
So-
don't want to disappoint, to make sure. So that bottle, super rare, but it's going to be easy to get.
awesome.
So the other thing I thought that Maker's Mark did great is that their cash registers were down and they just handed out chips to everybody. So right off the
Yeah.
bat, everybody was getting chips, and then
phones
at
out,
any time you wanted, you could go back because they had a certain amount. You got a chip, and anytime you wanted to go back, that bottle you could just get that bottle. I mean, you know, Brown Foreman and you know Old Forester, they released some really good stuff, but you didn't have to wait in line 80 hours for it. You know what I mean? That was the, and I think you guys have figured that one out. Everybody wanted that one specific bottle, And I think in this case, everybody's going to want it, but they're going to have enough. And if you know they have enough, then you're not going to. You can just get it when you got to get it.
Yep.
Well, and the reality is, and I really don't like this about the way this festival has evolved, is there are people that are entitled. It didn't used to be like that. It was a sampling event, and then when bottle sales came in, people thought it was cool to have some, but then it's kind of evolved into where people feel like if they buy a ticket, they have to be guaranteed to buy a bottle, and it's never been my intention to do that.
No. Well, I guarantee you, if you buy a ticket, you get one bottle. You can buy a bottle. It just depends on what bottle you're buying. I mean, go over to the craft distillery, and there's lots of bottles available. I mean, the greatest thing ever that I ever saw at the festival was Macaulay last year was with his buff turkey. I mean, that bottle was over $200, and he just went and got SKU after SKU. He supplied it all the way to Sunday. He ran out, I think, Sunday at like 2:00, and everybody who was in line for it that wanted it, I think he poured the last bottle into my mouth. The last
He emptied
sip.
the warehouse.
Yep.
He told us he
Yeah.
emptied their complete inventory.
I mean,
Now, I like that. There's a fine line, though, between, and I don't want to get off too far off, but there's the flippers, and then there's the serious, like the three of you are serious bottle collectors. You're buying to enjoy, you're buying to have them on display behind you and to impress people with, and I love that. And you're not flipping.
I never sold a bottle in my life, ever.
No, but the festival has grown into that, and we have to acknowledge it. I can't fight it. I can't say that's never been my intention. It was to create this, like, you know, the supermarket sweep or whatever that game show was. You got a grocery card, and you got 60 seconds.
But that's a great thing about the festival, Randy, because what bourbon people are, you've incorporated exactly what they are. When you talk about a line sometimes in the festival, it's not the greatest look, but you realize that the people in those lines have stood in line at their liquor store. They've traveled around the country, stood in lines at distilleries. That's what bourbon people do. They stand in line. And that's part of going to Kentucky Bourbon Festival. You can stand in line. Now, you don't want them, you want them to have an experience where they're in line maybe 15, 20 minutes for a bottle, but 2-3 hours.
I like the line moving.
Yeah.
Like TSA. TSA is a necessary evil. If you're moving a step or two and you keep zigzagging and you're moving,
that works.
Last year I took my KBF shirt off last year and had a regular unmarked. I was incognito and I stood in line and I just wanted to hear what people were saying, and there was no complaints. It was like,
we don't complain.
I would complain. I hate standing in line. I hate being hot.
But you know what people were doing, and I watched it happen because the Heaven Hill line obviously was the one that was probably the craziest, but they would have a friend go get samples from Barrel has the incredible slushies, and they would literally send somebody off to get slushies, bring them back to the line. And so there was always that kind of, and nobody ever said anything. It was just a good, there's a fellowship that people are just like, hey, we're having a good time. Doesn't matter.
Are you bringing?
One thing we haven't talked about, who is the title sponsor this year? Because last year was
New Riff.
Yeah.
Last year was Angels Envy. This year's New Riff.
Okay.
And I mean they've killed it. I mean every year Maker's Mark was the first, and then Beam with Knob Creek and everything, and then it's Bardstown Bourbon Company, Heaven Hill. Last year with Angels Envy. This year is New Riff. Every year one learns from the previous year, and they get better and better, and the product, and how they activate it gets better. And
remember, Randy, as Matt Leisen says, half the fun is talking to the people in the lines. When you're in line, that's when you meet the other people in the festival. And for me, as a podcaster, being in line is the greatest thing ever. That's where I hand out the most cards to the people attending. That's
where I get most of my footage from.
Yeah.
Doing people in line, yeah.
So that's an important part of why the festival is so great. You do have you've brought the experience of what bourbon people experience into the festival, and now you've trafficked it properly. Now, is the people that do the barbecue every year in the parking lot, are they coming back this year? I think they do the sandwiches right over by the lockers.
Oh, that's the church. That's the
St.
church that
Joseph's-
does the
That's
barbecue.
that's the church men's club. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, they make a good sandwich when you need one.
The pork chop and the ribeye sandwiches. That's
The
all
ribeye,
I've ever
I had a ribeye sandwich and it just went down so awesome.
Yep.
So yeah, that's.
Yep.
And then the food trucks, same thing as last year. Food trucks all out on the. You got them on the streets, and then is the market. The
I
market.
think that was pretty cool last year.
We brought the marketplace vendors in a little closer, and a couple of food trucks out there on Flagey, which is the kind of that little spur. I mean, we're always trying to make sure that our partners are making money. And last year, even though it was I thought a good setup, the marketplace vendors didn't get the traffic, so we brought them in, and the food trucks will be out there. I mean, we're limited by what the streets can do.
Right.
I mean, it's just that's.
Although I was after last year's wagon infiltration of the festival. You should.
That won't happen.
I know, but I was thinking one year you should just offer sponsored wagons for them to come in, because it was cool to have them walk. I mean, I understand they broke the rules and everything, but it still was kind of what they did was kind of innovative and worked, because they were bringing
that.
And it was bringing it to the people.
Yep. No, I know. I respect that. And I told them that, but I'm going to walk around with my Red Ryder BB gun this year. And take out any
That's awesome.
Oh,
All right. So
yeah, totally kidding people.
yes, but now let's I know it's getting late, so let's finish this up and have a couple people. We'll invite a couple people on to ask questions, and then you can go when you got to go. But give everybody the website and all the promotion, and then you know how next year, you know, the time when the tickets go on sale for anybody that watched and wants to come.
Yep, kybourbonfestival.com. That's it. The festival dates, we haven't officially announced them, but they will be a little later, more like what the festival used to be back in the day, a little later in the month, but the ticket on sale will still be right around mid-April. But by the time the festival comes out, we will be announcing the dates, and it'll be in print, and before people are leaving the hotels this year, they will be able to reserve their rooms for the following year. But we will start sending emails out this week. So anybody with tickets will start getting the know before you go emails, the FAQs, what you can bring in, what you can't. What we're trying to do this year also is with the wristbands. If you've set your wristbands to be picked up at will call, then we're going out into like the Fairfield, the Marriott, the main hotels, and setting up a little booth to where we can activate people's wristbands there. As they're in the hotel checking in, they can get the wristbands ready to go, so they're not doing it when they come to the festival. So we're trying to work really hard on the service side of things to make sure people aren't standing in line for way too long just to be able to get in. So you can get in, and earlier I mentioned we've got two gates. We've got the main gate that's been there for the last 4 years, and we're adding a second main gate, if you will, that'll bring you right into the craft distillery area. But you'll still get emails. You'll get your pocket folder with your wristbands in with the QR code. You get to scan. If one of you bought tickets for everyone else, you still have to go in and make sure that everyone else is registered. So Jeffrey, you bought the tickets for CT and Nash. CT and Nash have to go in and register to make sure we know who you are before you walk in the door. So, but it's crunch time, 27 hours or 27 days. Sorry, not 27 hours.
27 days.
27 days.
So you'll have
Awesome.
you'll have will call at the you'll have something set up at the hotels, and then you also have will call right there at the festival. I've never had a problem ever picking up the packet or whatever, and never thought that the line was too long. You've all you're the people that run that. No matter what happens, they always seem to adjust really well. I mean, I just never been a time where
Yeah,
at all.
they
I
work
feel
hard.
very
And,
fortunate
I'd
this
have
year.
to-
I mean, the name Kurt Foreman doesn't mean anything to anybody, but Kurt is from Racine. He's a Badger Packer fan for Jeffrey, but
I met Kurt.
he was my mentor. He was my mentor. He was the one that really got me into the festival industry back in the 90s. So he's our box office manager. So I've run brew festivals with him. I've run music festivals with him. And that's one of those earlier on where I surround myself with people that are top of their game. Kurt is my mentor, and he's on our team right now. So he will handle the
He was there last year too, right? If I'm not mistaken.
No, as a guest.
Yes, as a guest.
As a
That's
guest.
yes. Because I think
Yep.
I met him last year as a guest, and then this year,
That's
okay.
all part of my recruiting. I bring you in as a guest, and then
And you just, I just can't wait till you've got the. I mean, it just works out great. Every year it gets better, bigger, more organized. And like any other festival, all you can do is on the fly, give that hospitality service to make
Correct.
the people. You can't control all the stuff that can go wrong, because stuff is, when you have this many people, same amount of tickets as last year, if I'm not mistaken, right? And so you have that level amount of it's not tens of thousands, it's just thousands of people coming. There, everything can't run smooth no matter what. It would be nice, but that's just not something. That's not how this works. But you always on the fly are always doing just such a good job to keep everybody.
Well,
That's it.
thank you.
You want to have
well, thank you.
But it frustrates me to no end. I've got people that I'm 36 years in this business, the Kentucky Derby, all the things on my resume, and all the people I have on this team, and we spend hours and months trying to anticipate what could go wrong, and something still goes wrong, and customers will be like, well, God, if I was doing this, I'd do that. I mean, and so I try not to minimize the fact that frustration, but everybody
but you keep
becomes an
it.
expert.
But you're keeping it cutting edge. I mean, the Tixar thing has now settled down, but when you started with it, it was new. That was just something new, and it's just like just everything's always cutting. You know, there's so much technology that can be involved with getting people in and moving people around, and and then once the festival gets going, that's when last year was a great festival because I saw you relax to some extent. So let's just hope that's this year again.
This year I'm gonna be in a big baby carriage, and people just can push me around.
Yeah, but don't promise not to set your face on fire.
No, I am no more home projects. I am out of that zone.
Yeah, unless it's in the fire pit, right?
The RFID chip, the wristbands. I beat Lollapalooza, Coachella, and South by Southwest Festival to doing the wristbands with the RFID chips in them. So I feel like we're pretty innovative, and I feel like the technology and the people there to execute it worked. And a little bitty festival like us we should probably still be doing like the printed home tickets and that little barcode you scan, but we're not. We're wristband, beep beep beep, you're in, and we're good at that now. So, but yeah, Nash, the fire pit is no more. It's a swimming pool now. I'm done. I built a big wraparound deck. I actually ran a 2-inch nail from a nailer into my finger, but I did that in June, so it's all healed. There's no blood. There's no scarring. I'm ready to go.
I would have died.
Yeah.
I can't handle needles or anything impaling me. I just pass out. So that would have been it.
Yeah.
All right. So
Randy, before we go, we have to have a pour.
Yes.
On Wednesday, Tuesday or Wednesday, we have to meet you upstairs out of the special glass.
Up in the office?
Yes.
In your office.
Special glass.
Let's make that a tradition.
Special glass.
Yes. We did that last year, and that was awesome.
Hey, Randy,
Yes, sir.
can you see me? Here we go.
Now, you guys the three of you, and then Carl is not here, but you're very special to me, and you know why. And And Jeffrey, the whole media program and Media Row started with you and I talking about what can we do. And now it's a 40-foot by 40-foot air-conditioned tent with a bar and all, and interview rooms. But it all started with the Scotchy Bourbon Boys in like one little tent in front of Spalding Hall. So thank you.
Yeah, I mean,
I never forgot.
yeah, no problem.
Thank you for
And
giving
every
us
year,
inspiration.
last year you got it down. Last year we weren't close to music. Somebody playing music, and we had that little side tent, and then we did a couple morning. The morning podcasts are fantastic before the festival opens. That works out. The whole thing was.
Yeah.
I loved what you did with the media tent last year, and I know you moved it, but at the same time you didn't move it next to a band playing. So that's all that you can ask for.
Well, and we've got Bardstown Tourism is sponsoring that media tent and the little interview suites. It's not perfect. Look, I mean, I get it. I mean, we're out in the middle of a temporary yard, a park, and
No, it's okay to have the microphones are so good now. You can have the little background noise of people behind you talking or whatever.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's just the one year was like they were playing music and then it was like going up the top and dropping. And it was just like, holy crap! How did that work? But I think you really last year nailed it, and I think this year and the air conditioning was awesome in that tent. That's the best.
Well, it wasn't holy crap. It was what the shit.
What the shit that year? Yeah. The one year was what the shit. But it wasn't what the shit.
Let's be honest.
I got to get back into doing the comic strip again because I got all the characters and everything. But
I love that.
But
and every week, every one ends with what the shit.
Yeah, and John Ritt, he loves what the shit. Half the time he just texts me in the middle of the day. He just texts me, and you've done it too. You just text me in the middle of the day. What the shit? Because that's the way, and I think that's the way the world goes these days. It's just all you.
Can you do me a favor, Jeffrey? What the shit, Scotchy Bourbon Boys t-shirts this year.
Hey, CT. Let's make that happen. What the shit, Scotchy Bourbon Boys t-shirts.
I'll wear it.
Shit on the front and Scotchy Bourbon Boys logo on the back.
Yep. Now, or maybe what the SHI with the S.
No, just what the shit. I mean, we live in 2026. Right. Who the hell thinks shit's a swear word anymore? Nobody. I mean, my God, my 10-year-old granddaughter dropped something and she just went shit.
We know what WTF means, but what about WTS?
What the WTS? Yeah, that's a good one too.
WTS.
Yeah.
I'm a master marketer.
Yes, you are.
WTS.
All right. Let's get some people. Let's get some people on real quick.
WTS. What would Tiny say?
What? All right. So
WTS. What would Tiny say?
What would Tiny say? Or what the shit? Yeah, that works both ways.
I still like what the shit. WTS.
Oh yeah. What the shit? WTS.
What the?
All right, everybody. Remember www.scotchybourbonboys.com and kybourbonfestival.com. Go there and check it out. They have way more merchandise than I do, but we have Glencairns, and we just had our Crystal Glencairn meeting, and but I will thank. Oh, is that this year's?
Oh.
Nice.
Wow.
That's pretty.
That for the VIPs?
Yep.
Awesome.
Look at that. I got last year's stuff. I love the eagle.
Nash, I got you.
Awesome.
I've got last year's.
Yep.
With the
Still, yep, that's cool. I love it.
Yeah, that's the one. I missed that one last year.
And then the first year with
that one
with the Canton Cooperage Oak.
Mm-hmm.
So consider yourself covered. I got you.
Thank you, brother.
This pen is badass. It's lacquered. It's clear lacquer,
Nice.
and it's got the 35 up here. You probably can't see that. Maybe you can. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's the best damn pen I've ever had, and so I'm really excited about it.
That also with the American flag coincides with America's 250th too.
And look at this. This is the new
Yeah, that's a nice.
Oh, that's nice.
with the red band.
Yeah.
That's sharp.
It's watch number 5 for me. So
I feel like at one point, Randy, you're gonna be. Did you ever see the our friends and neighbors with ham on? And someone's gonna come in. They're just gonna be coming to your house to take one of your Orvis watch. It's gonna be on. That might even be an episode. Anyways. All right.
So I'm plugging my friends with Oris and Retro 51 and Jacob Bromwell.
Yeah.
3.4 ounce. This is a little guy. It's TSA safe, and we're selling them at the festival this year. So.
Oh, cool. Will they have a booth? What the shit?
Look at the shirt.
Now there it is. Look at that. That's
There's
the shirt right there. You like that, Randy?
What the shit?
That's the shirt with cigars and the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. Just make the logo on the barrel our logo, and you got it.
Yeah.
CT.
Jeffrey.
Oh, that's nice.
You got the copper. I got the 24 karat gold.
I do have. I've got the 20.
Kentucky Round. It's called the Kentucky Round.
You got that one? I got the 24 karat gold one last year for Father's Day. I got the one, that one, and I basically handed out the Dowling, 1946 Dowling in that. I like the gold decanters because you can leave something in there as long as you want, and it's not. Sometimes with the copper ones you can't leave it in too long, but that one you can leave it in. And it's still good 6 months later if it was in there. So I like that with that.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about the copper flasks is it oxidizes.
Right, in the copper.
I don't like that.
But the gold ones, it does not.
And you're on the way to a Badger game, you drink it in the pregame before while you're tailgating.
Yeah.
It's good, but don't let it sit overnight.
Next year, Randy, let's have the Prius Club, where if you buy a special thing and you get a free Prius.
The Prius Club. I think he should do the BMW Club. I think at one point he'll be able to have the Corvette Club, where you get a Corvette when you. It's just like 85,000.
I'll be selling my Audi next year. So if you spend $10,000, you get an Audi and a ticket to the festival. I get rid of my car.
It's perfect. That would be awesome. All right, so
Anyway.
That saved me on a rental.
Yeah, buddy.
No need for a car. Buy the special.
Is anybody even watching?
Yes, lots of people are watching on YouTube and Facebook. No, tonight was great. So, anyways, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and X, and we're also on Apple, iHeart, and Spotify. No matter whether you listen to us or watch us, make sure you leave good feedback. And also become a member or do super chats, all that kind of stuff. We use everything. Everything goes right back into the podcast. And then remember, good bourbon equals good times with good friends. And you guys are good friends, man. And
absolutely are.
Make sure you drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. And live your life, Super Nash.
Uncut and unfiltered.
And AI will take us out.
And Stacy said, leave hers on the desk.
Yeah.
Wake up, sunrise and boots on the floor, working hard all day till you can't no more. The choice is yours, how you play it out when you walk through that door.
bottle, one drink, one pour.
That's what the Scotchy Bourbon Boys got in store. Tuesdays, Thursdays, come pull up a seat. We'll taste through the whiskey on the rocks and the Scotch or a good old rye. Japanese Irish, yeah, we'll tell you why. So wherever you're sipping, near or far, tune in with us from your home or your car. One bottle, one drink, one pour. That's the podcast you've been looking for.
There's another one in the books. All right.
Right.
No technical difficulties at all. Actually, it's funny because at one point all the
What?
what?
Before you say that, you were freezing up a few times.
Yeah.
At one point, but then all of a sudden it all kind of went together.
Freeze up, and your hand would be about like this right here, and then
Yeah,
you'd be
you-
froze up.
My end, I could hear him talk, but his face was
Yeah.
froze
It's
for a
like
while.
max headroom.
Yeah.
Back.
All right. Hey,
Headroom.
hey, Randy, this is Kirk from Montana.
Hey, Kirk.
Hey, Randy.
And-
Go ahead.
Well, he's going to be probably at next year's festival, I would say. And
I respect the beard. That's badass.
Thank
I
you.
can't do it.
I trimmed it not that long ago, but I'll get her right down here for hunting season.
I've never been able to like generate that kind of facial hair, so much respect.
You just keep letting her grow, buddy. It'll go. Hey, Randy,
Hey,
good
Jeffrey,
job
did
here.
you see what I sent you on your phone?
no, because my phones are both being. What did you send me?
Well, and this is no shit, and I don't know if you can see this, but while we were doing our podcast, Van Halen's tour manager was calling me.
Oh my god! And the Packers lost what 28-9 while we were doing that. Good thing I didn't have to watch that.
But he's a bourbon fan, and a couple years ago he was going to come to the Bourbon Festival as my guest, and he was also touring with the Doobie Brothers.
Okay.
And the Doobies were playing in Louisville during the Bourbon Festival, and he was going to come down to see us, and he gave me backstage passes for the Doobie Brothers, and he never made it down, and I couldn't make it up, so it was like two ships passing the night.
Good. That's cool.
Well, maybe he's calling you to see if you can get him in this year, right? Hopefully.
Probably.
Hey, Randy,
Hey,
I'm
Bob.
going to
Hi,
jump
Bob.
in here just for a second on what you're doing. I heard you about 5 months ago on here, right when I first discovered the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. And I'm actually event together for next year at our Civic in my town here. I've listened to your last podcast, and it gave me some really good ideas about locker storage. And
Yeah.
I'm right in town here where they make all the belt buckles for all the rodeos and that. So I think we're going to get a barrel racing thing coming here. Silversmiths, Montana Silversmiths.
I need one.
Yeah.
I've got a belt. I'm a farm boy. I've got the belt that I can put a buckle on. I've watched Yellowstone. I want a big ass fucking belt. So yeah, help me out.
I love it. So anyway, I've been watching. I've watched your cast here a couple of times, and I'll make it down next year for sure to see what you're doing. But I love what you're doing and your inclusion that you've talked about, bringing other people together in on it. And I like the VIP thing, and I like how you just kind of grew it from something small where it's really getting into something, because you're leaving a little bit of a legacy. You're leaving some fun for somebody else to take over when you're done. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But touche.
Thank you. Where are you guys from?
Columbus, Montana, right here.
All right. Is Bob and are you all like one group, or are you all
Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah, Bob actually came down for the Crystal Glencairn Club which everybody at this time of the year when I do the tasting, one year I'll have to do it so far away from the festival that Randy can come up and be a part of it, because that's just it. It's a pretty big group, and the tasting was, and Bob was able to come down. He's going to be at Kentucky Bourbon Festival this year, and he's joining us on our bus tour. He's actually got booked on the bus tour.
Oh shit, the bus tour. Bob, hydrate. God, Bob, sleep, hydrate.
That Wednesday.
Injections before that bus trip. I've seen people on that bus trip. Yeah, exactly.
Bring really dark sunglasses too, so you don't have to watch Jeff wrestling Nash outside of the bus.
So Kurt,
that's one of the only reasons I go on the bus is to see Jeff wrestle Nash outside of the bus.
Yeah.
Kurt, I've always wanted to live in Montana. My aunt lived in Helena. I interviewed I'm talking 30 years ago, for a newspaper job in Kalispell. I mean, I've always wanted to live in Montana, so I'm jealous.
Well, everything here is ungodly expensive. We're at the end of we'll put it the wagon trail up here. So things are pretty expensive. Homes are crazy expensive. Bozeman, when we first moved back, I was born and raised in Montana. The median house was $314,000 up by the gateway to Gallatin. And now that same house is over $1 million. Since 2014. So it's definitely beautiful. It's fun. It's nice, but we have things that we put up with here too. But you'd be welcome out here at any point, Randy. And like I've said before, I think Greg might show up sometime. I know Randy will. Hell yeah. My place is a pretty good launching pad. I'm right at the foot of the Beartooth Mountains on the Yellowstone River. And
we should.
I've heard my Harley around the bottom.
We should go.
Harley, I've kind of flirted with it. I never committed.
You ever did Beartooth Pass, Randy?
I did once.
That's where I'm at. I'm right in there. Yeah.
You're at the bottom, right? You're not at the top.
No, I'm on the Yellowstone bottom. Yeah.
Okay.
Now I had my road glide, and like I said, I flirted. I never committed to go up, but I rode around the bottom a lot with the.
Well, I'll get to know you here next year too. But like I said, the offer stands for these Scotchy guys and bourbon, the inclusion stuff. I've got vehicles here. I'll pick you up at the airport. I can give you an itinerary. You can drink a couple pours with me, and I got plenty of rooms and bathrooms. So you're covered.
Let's go fishing.
Hey, my Harley up there.
Let's go fishing, Randy. We could go fishing. I want to fish.
Yeah.
We could.
I can teach you how to fly fish, Tiny. You can buy all that gear too. You might end up buying a spoon by the end of the day, so you can catch quite a bit more. But hey, I can still teach you to fly fish.
I'll just start with the spoon.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
No reason I say that is I'm a walleye guy because
I love walleye
in Minnesota.
Yep.
I'm a boundary waters guy.
Yeah, Lick of the Woods here. So I used to do walleye tournaments and that too. So that got my blood out there, Tiny. But I sold my Lund. I've been through 3 Lunds and a Crestliner when we came back to Montana, and I was fly fishing. We went through the classes. We bought all the stuff, the 10 and 2. I can roll cat, all that. And then 2 little kids, about 12 years old, cruise up alongside me in my fishing spot and just start fishing fish after fish around me. And I'm like, well, hell with that. I'm going to buy another line. So that's what I did.
My father, hey Randy, my father-in-law and my wife's uncle, when they undammed the Milwaukee River, my Rachel lived on the Milwaukee River. My father-in-law would go down, and he started fly fishing for the. What was it? The salmon? Was it the salmon that would run the river? Yeah, he was fly fishing for salmon and trout, and he was killing it until
they were catching rubber. They were catching rubber tires and
God!
Bodies.
And then when the project, they realized the project wasn't working. turds were and tampons were floating by. Then when my wife's uncle got a rare
I got
back
a rainbow trout.
rare,
I got a rainbow trout. No, it's a tampon.
it's a
Sorry.
tampon. Yeah, no, but there was a good year where he would go down and steelhead, right? That's what it was, steelheads. Yeah, he was catching those babies.
Yeah.
He'd pull those out and whatever. No, they weren't eating them, but he enjoyed fly fishing down there. But that would be amazing, wouldn't it?
I can't believe we're 27 days away from this thing, and then like in 29 days it'll be all over and we start all over again.
But that's but the start over. I mean, so the start over. You usually get a good rest up after you get it all to or whatever, and then you get into it. But it's got to be pretty cool to run a festival. It's a day-to-day job, but overall, how it if you incorporate it into your life, it just kind of flows and it's part of life, right? Except when the festival. The couple weeks up to the festival and the actual festival.
Well, I'm my own worst enemy because I've done this for so long. I know better, but like after the festival's over, you have to decompress. You have to walk away from it and get away from it and like deep dive. I'm a hermit. I sit in the cave in the air conditioning and dark and watch movies for a week and I emerge.
007.
But, like even the board members are like, yeah, but the 2 days after, 2 days after the festival, the board is like, hey, Randy, I hope you're enjoying some much deserved R&R. I'm like, are you kidding me? We got like 4 more days of tearing down, and it's a temporary city, but nobody knows. I mean, people on this call probably know that, but if you've ever been involved with it, it takes us 10 days to build and 5 days to tear down.
My favorite was the Sunday night after it's over because you afford yourself a little bit of time, and then there's a little bit of relaxation. And when I finally stayed, I'm staying all the time till Monday because that Sunday night, almost everybody that a lot of people who participated. As far as going to the festival, they dissipate. But the people who were part of the festival, they kind of are still there, and that was a really good time last year. And then it turns in.
I don't drink. I don't drink during the festival. I mean, I learned a lesson when I was running the Wisconsin State Fair. We had a bomb threat. We had 100,000 people on the grounds, and we had a backpack with wires and all that stuff. And I was sober. And if you've ever been to the Wisconsin State Fair, there's like 50 breweries and beer tents. And everybody's like, hey, Randy, come drink a beer. And I'd always say no. So here we are with a bomb threat with a backpack with wires. And I had to make decisions. And I'm glad I was drinking. And I take that seriously now, too. But when the Bourbon Festival closes at 6:00, I go shower and then I get my drink on. I mean, I love to party and love to hang out with people and stuff. But,
yeah, you have a beer or two to relax or whatever, or a pour, or the one time I think we went to the Big House. That was a lot of fun going to the Big House.
Yeah, now I just like shoot up heroin, and that helps me get through and ready for the teardown.
I don't bother. I do that gas station stuff.
I just tap a vein.
I'm guessing here, Randy, probably what keeps you up at night. I'm glad you're not drinking during that because you never know what happens. But it's always the thing you didn't think of that's going to pop up and get you just when you think you're comfortable. So I get it.
Last year, Sunday night into Monday, the festival's done. Everybody's gone, and I'm still in the Airbnb 2 blocks away from the festival. And the rule had been like midnight, we open the streets. But the security company didn't realize that we still had dumpsters, generators, air conditioning on the street. And I woke up and it was like, holy shit, I bet you they opened the fucking street. And I ran like almost like in like flip-flops and a bathrobe 2 blocks and sure enough, they pulled all the barricades, and there was cars driving on the street.
Liability,
There was
holy
still-
shit,
There
yeah.
were still generators and all this stuff, and I'm like dragging barricades and telling people to get the hell out. You know, it's like at 3 in the morning. I mean, I'm laying there and I'm like,
Damn,
the instinct, you know, the spidey senses were tingling.
yeah, yeah.
And but
Hey,
so I'm
you
glad I was there and
keep an
not like,
orange, do you keep an orange vest? Keep an orange vest in your vehicle with you so you can throw that on at the end? I've been known to do that after football games so I can get our party out of there. Direct traffic a little bit, but anyway, yeah.
It's funny you mentioned that because my dad and my grandfather were both like sheriff's deputies, like in the county fair, the flashlight with the orange cone.
Yeah.
On the vest. I mean, I've actually had that, and I got to the point where it was very uncool to be riding a Harley with a safety vest on, but I had so many close calls that my black leather vest went away, and I had the orange vest with the reflector strips.
Yeah. Hear that, guys? You always in your pickup keep an orange vest, tarp, and a roll of duct tape. I won't tell you what I mean.
And a bag of zip ties.
Chris. CT.
I got a bag of zip ties
Bad
and one of
things.
those big Velcro rolls.
Well,
You know, because you never know when you have to do wire management. You know.
yeah, but
Yeah.
but
Well,
if
I'm
they're
really
dead, they
disappointed
probably
that
don't need a
was
zip
taken
tie.
But when I was running the state fair in Wisconsin, I always kept zip ties and my pocket knife and side cutters and stuff. And I actually had a union grievance filed against me because sponsor banners were falling down and I was hanging and putting zip ties in the fence, and I had a grievance filed against me because I was doing a union job. And
You
I'm not
probably,
anti-union.
yeah,
Well-
you probably didn't have the permit for that, and they didn't do the task hazard assessment before that, so, yeah.
So
And I'm not anti-union. I'm just saying the fact that I had zip ties and a side cutter and was fixing the situation. I had a grievance and went all the way to the DOJ in Madison.
So what kind of stuff do
Interesting.
you need? Because anything on Amazon now, I can get everybody. So just put your order in for me. Do you need zip? Zip ties come in the millions to us, and I mean it's insane. Duct tape, packing tape, anything that you need, just let me know and I can bring it to you.
The one
I'd
cool
probably
thing about Amazon is last year I ordered 10,000 cups for the water monster.
Yeah.
The big and ties and garbage bag. You know, the big 55-gallon
The
drum
garbage
liners and
bags?
big rubber bands. I can just go into I can go into last year's August orders and just buy again and have everything set.
If you need garbage bags, but see the key is I probably can't get you all the same. But if you need garbage bags, the amount of garbage bags that come in on the returns is insane. I probably get 10,000 to 40,000 garbage bags a week out of the Amazon returns.
55-gallon, the big drum liners.
Every single kind, leaf
55
garbage bags, home garbage bags, 55-gallon. They just come in and they almost make it. They almost get in the way because if they've been kind of opened or whatever, when you're trying to dig through the other stuff, it's like if the garbage bag's been open, all of a sudden there's just garbage bags everywhere. It's just, I mean,
Bring them. Load your truck.
I will.
That and Trogs beer.
I got you the 112 pack. I'll go ahead and another. Yeah, I'll get you another. And then, but I will, so do you still want all the swimming pool stuff?
Hell no.
I didn't think so. That's going, I got to find another person with a pool.
Hey, Randy. Good question about the festival. Like last year, I meant to ask you this on the podcast, was about the water monsters. Like last year, that was a big complaint that there wasn't enough water stations around to hydrate. Y'all addressed that, right?
Well, we own two of them, and
Yeah.
the bar and every food truck has water, and the merch tent has water. Now we have free water, and this year we're doing branded water, like the aluminum, like the Coors Light, like the set,
Yeah.
like where you can screw off and drink the water, and then you can go refill them. But you can never have enough water or porta potties.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I just think the difference out of all the years, you all with the Green Mountain or what was it, whatever, you kind of nailed it with that every year, and then last year it was new how to hydrate. You know what I mean? And so it sounds like you brought back that, and then you can refill them.
Right.
Makes sense.
Yeah, we spent $10,000 on water, and with refillable because I love that. I mean, I can drink a Coors Light, put the cap back on, put it in the fridge, or drink it. I just love that delivery. So that's what we're doing with the water this year. But it costs. I mean, it's.
Oh no, it's definitely.
It ain't the Lowe's. It ain't buying pallets of water at Lowe's.
Or at Sam's Club Members Mark. Not the same. Yes.
Jeffrey, you're like frozen.
I'm always frozen
Very
afterwards. As soon as
Jeffrey looks like a original
fuzzy look.
Nintendo. You look like Donkey Kong on the original Nintendo.
I'm looking. Why am I frozen there? I'm
All the
looking.
pixels are showing.
I'm looking at Facebook, and I'm not frozen.
You're like a modern Donkey Kong.
Your beard's
You're
moving, but your face
pixelated.
isn't.
All right,
You have to get out of your grandma's basement.
You got pixelation.
Does everyone
Dude,
else
that
see
AI
that one
beard
too?
is like coming off on
No,
you.
it's not that. Okay, I'm gonna end YouTube. All right, here we go. Ending YouTube.